Te mandaron salir muy amables.
Vamos a empezar ya. Okay, want to start the meeting? It's 8 o'clock. Special Commission meeting. Thursday, September 28, 2017 at 8 p.m. Commission Chamber 500 Southwest 109th Avenue. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Clerk will note the absence of Commissioner Villanueva.
Okay, so let's stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. We pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have the obligation, please.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you now, Lord, and we give you thanks for an amazing day, dear Lord. One, we're able to enjoy our freedoms, dear God, where so many people have sacrificed to keep them, Lord. Lord, right now we pray for your guidance and your wisdom as we continue our struggle, Lord, to try and do what's right for our residents and our citizens, dear Father. And Lord, where we make the difficult decisions that we know are right and that will ultimately be for the good of the city and of its residents, Lord. Lord, I continue to pray for our law enforcement officers and our first responders, that they put their lives on the line every single day to help us, Lord. I pray that you be with them and that you protect them as well. Now, Father, again, be with us as we make these choices that need to be made in order for our city to progress. In your holy name we pray.
Amen. Okay. Okay, we're going to go to public comments, and I would like to ask Johnny Rest to please approach. He's going to do us the honor.
Buenas noches a todos. Quiero cantar el himno nacional para poder darle honor a nuestro país y darle gracias a Dios porque está aquí con nosotros. I'm sorry, my name is Johnny Rez.
Mr. Johnny, please.
Your name and address for the record.
760 Southwest 103rd Path, Miami, Florida 33174.
Iba a hacer una pregunta.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Blessed be the United States.
Johnny, please, Johnny. In 2 or 3 minutes, what you are story? What you explain?
What's my story?
Yes.
Well, once again, my name is Johnny Rez. I've been living in Sweetwater all of my life. We are in our second home now at this moment. Thank you, God. And I went to Miami Christian School, which is also in our beautiful city. And I'm here with my mom, and I'm here with my brother. And we're just so blessed to be a part of Sweetwater. A very good friend of mine was just elected an official, Mr. Barrero. And I believe that God has big plans and big things for this great town. And I was blessed enough to be able to graduate from FIU just down the street from here. It's grown. It's impacted our city so much. And I'm grateful just to be a small part of what's going on. And I believe that you guys are the right elected officials to carry out the job that's being done. And there's very special things ahead for all of us, for you guys, and for everyone here. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for having me. And thank you all for the work that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Johnny.
Through the chair,
Yes.
I think Johnny is forgetting an important thing that he did, not only representing himself, his faith, and his family, but also our city. He was in a international competition that was televised. I believe it was The Voice, no?
Yes, sir.
And as you can tell, he's got an amazing voice. He went far in that competition. It was televised, and he represented us well. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so before we move on, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Olga Hernandez from Jose Pepe Diaz, District 12, our commissioner for the county. Thank you for being here. And also, I'm gonna start calling Mirta Barbosa. And let me just make a little comment. Before we start, please, it's 3 minutes for each person due to the fact that we have so many people here tonight that want to talk. So we limited to 3 minutes each person. So the first one is Mirta Barbosa. Please come to the podium.
To the chair.
Yes.
Cualquier persona, voy a decir en inglés, anyone who has not signed up to speak for public comments can sign up over here with our city clerk, Carmen Garcia. Cualquier persona que no se ha inscrito para poder hablar por 2 o 3 minutos puede hacerlo aquí mismo. Y les quiero decir muchas gracias a todos los residentes que vinieron hoy. Muchos de ustedes, yo les invité a la reunión a esta reunión de la comisión porque quería que ustedes estén presentes y estén aquí presentes y se dieron cuenta de todas las decisiones que toman sus representantes, sus comisionados, y también para expresarse. Esta es una de las reuniones más importantes durante el año porque aquí en esta reunión y sobre los presupuestos los comisionados pueden dedicar todos los fondos que ellos quieren a todos los recursos de la ciudad. Aquí mismo en esta reunión se puede decidir también el índice de los impuestos a las propiedades, que si lo quieren bajar, que si lo quieren dejar lo mismo que el año pasado o subir. Aquí es una oportunidad muy buena para poder expresar su voz y lo que ustedes quieren ver en la ciudad.
Muy tarde. Yo hablé ya y todos vinieron. Usted llegó después. Pero por favor, estos no son como los 20 millones que usted consiguió para nuestra ciudad. Comprenda eso. Nosotros estamos elegidos para elegir nuestra ciudad, para lo bueno de nuestra ciudad. Pero vuelvo a repetirte, en su slide que puso 20 millones que usted consiguió y yo no los vi nunca. Muchas gracias.
Gracias, comisionado.
Mirta Barbosa, your name and address for the record.
Ok, mi inglés es muy malo.
¿Necesitamos intérprete?
Sí.
We didn't interpret. For her. Anybody?
Disculpe.
No importa, mi amor.
No importa, no importa.
¿Alguien puede servir de intérprete? Por favor.
Sí. Señor Cuenca.
No,
Ahí
viene.
ya.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ok, su nombre y su apellido y por favor la dirección que tiene que dársela por el récord. Yes.
¿El mío?
My name and not, yes. Your name and
Mirta
address.
Barbosa. 114, 82 Northwest, 4 Way, Miami, Florida, 33, 172.
You live in Miami or live in Sigüora?
Sigüora.
Usted, no, Miami no, diga Sigüora.
Sigüora.
Por favor, muchas gracias.
Ok. Diga, señor. Please.
nombre,
No. It's hers. So she can start talking and you translate.
Usted hable y yo le
Habla,
traduzco.
señora, sí, ella le traduce. Por favor.
Usted habla, sí.
Yo estoy en este momento con ustedes para estar de acuerdo a que
Pueden seguir.
yo estoy de acuerdo en que, vaya, yo llegué hoy para estar decidida que ustedes como todos van bien para bajar los impuestos de la propiedad.
I am here in one accord with everybody that's also here to try to talk to you about bringing down taxes.
Solamente, yo soy una mujer retirada, mi retiro no es muy alto y el año, estoy de acuerdo en que el año pasado se quede con esos taxes.
Okay, she said that she's retired, she doesn't have a great income, and that she's hoping that the taxes would remain as well as they did last year.
Okay, ma'am, I will assure you that that's what we're going for. The taxes will not be increased this year.
Que le aseguro que eso es lo que estamos trabajando y que no van a subir este año.
Está.
Eso es lo que ella dice.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias, Tania.
Okay. Okay, next one's for David. David Perez?
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is David Perez, and I reside at 760 Southwest 103rd Path. I'm here today with my brother who just sang, my mother, and my neighbor who I invited to come with us. I want to thank all of you guys for the opportunity for allowing me to speak and the rest of the community to come and share our thoughts and our concerns. Obviously now, tonight's a big night. I know that down at Stephen P. they're also having the same thing with the proposed budget, and I've done a lot of homework, I'll call it, because I'm very interested in, not just for myself, but for the rest of the community as far as tax property and what's going to happen. Just shortly, I've lived in Sweetwater my whole life since I was very young. Like my brother, we went to Miami Christian. I graduated at FIU. I'm going back now for my master's degree. We own 3 properties in the city limit of Sweetwater. And I think that a lot of what gets decided tonight is going to affect us directly, as well as the rest of the community, the people sitting here in the room, so I find it important. I did some research. I looked back, and I want to say 2016, looking at the millage rate. I had to do some research to understand that. I think I got a pretty good grasp on it. And from what I understand, 2016, for the city of Sweetwater, we were at 2.75. We had a big jump to the following year, last year, up to 4.5. And I asked for the proposed budget, and I was able to get it for this following year. I believe you guys are actually going to lower that to 4.2. And I think what some people might not understand, because on paper it looks good, but our property values, I use Zillow.com, which you can basically just look up all your property value. It'll tell you very simply in a graph how it's gone up. So shortly, 2014, the average price or value in a home for 33174, our zip code, was $174,000. We jumped forward to 2017, it jumped to $240,000. So it's a pretty big jump in just 3-4 years' time. Going back to the millage rate, it affects, obviously, due to our increase in property value, we're paying more out of pocket. Our 3 homes, it's costing me more to do it. I understand that you guys are able to level that millage rate, even though there's like a mathematical way that you guys come up with the money. From what I understand, the intended budget is divided by the total taxable amount of property within the city, and you come up with this number. I believe that's what it is, but you guys are able to lower that and higher that. So along with many of the people that are here, I'm hoping that you guys would find a way to help us out, and especially now due to Hurricane Irma, you know, just from a personal standpoint, all 3 homes that we own were affected in one way or the other. We had leakage, roof problems, a fence got blown out. You know, with between our insurance and everything, you know, we're looking at spending $15,000 to fix what happened. So I'm hoping that you guys can find a way to help us out in lowering even that millage rate, even lower than the projected 4.2 that you guys are offering. Again, looking back to 2016 where it was below 3%. You know, it was a big jump. So I'm hoping you guys can do something for us. And I know it's in your intentions to do so. But again, you know, it was a big jump up for 2017, and it's going down a little bit now, but I'm still comparing it back to 2015. Even the ad valorem, where in 2016 it was 3.7 million, it jumped 75% to 6.6 million. This year goes up a little bit higher.
Sir, but you thank us out.
Okay, that's all I wanted to share. I got some more stuff,
We will
but
discuss more about it.
okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And now we have Jose 8 years.
Madam President, just one quick matter for clarification to the commission. At tonight's meeting, you may discuss the adoption of the final millage rate, and you can definitely make adjustments to the budget. But tonight is not the night where the commission would be setting the final millage rate, just for
Okay.
clarification purposes.
Okay.
You telling in Spanish? I'm sorry, Madam President.
Buenas noches a todos. Yo me apunté en la lista, precisamente yo
Su
vine.
nombre y su dirección para el récord.
José A. Díaz, José Antonio Díaz, 114-82 No West 4 Way. Yo vivo con Mita, yo vine a acompañarla a ella y primera vez que estoy en una reunión de este tipo. Y entonces me dijeron que iban a hablar acerca de los taxes, de las propiedades. Yo estoy de acuerdo en que no se suban.
¿Quiere que le traduzca un momentico?
Bueno.
He said he wants to speak about the taxes of such, and he's interested in them not going up. Continúe, yo le traduzco.
No, eso es todo lo que tengo que decir. De lo demás, que me gustaría que hubiera claridad en este asunto y que lo hagan saber como siempre lo hacen a las casas, los propietarios.
Ok, señor, le voy a explicar un poquito. Los taxes no van a subir este año. Ok, aunque el valor de la propiedad ha subido, se va a mantener el mismo del año pasado. No hay aumento ninguno. Eso es en este momento lo que hay. Tenemos una reunión esta noche donde vamos a hablar acerca de los cortes que tengamos que hacer, si hay que hacer alguno. Pero de subir, sí les digo que no hay. ¿Ok?
Okay.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias a usted.
Through the chair.
Go ahead.
Para darte una explicación, José, en el año 2016, en los impuestos a las propiedades, la ciudad recibió $3.765. El año pasado, la ciudad recibió $6.659.000. Es decir, que casi se duplicaron los impuestos a las propiedades. Y muchos de nosotros, los residentes, lo hemos sentido en la renta, en lo que estamos pagando mensualmente, anualmente, con los impuestos a las propiedades. Solo por una demuestra de mano, ¿hay alguien aquí que quieren que bajen los impuestos menos que estaba del año pasado? Todos los manos. El año 2016, la millaje, el índice estaba en un 2.75. El año pasado se subió a 4.75. Con ese ingreso a los impuestos a las propiedades, casi se duplicaron los impuestos a las propiedades. Este presupuesto, de la cual tenemos esta noche, contempla los mismos altos impuestos que el año pasado. Aquí ustedes pueden hablar y expresar si quieren que lo bajen o quieren que dejen el mismo índice de los impuestos a las propiedades. Esta comisión en la última reunión logró bajar el amillaje para que no subieran. Eso es bueno y yo aplaudo el esfuerzo de todos los comisionados para asegurar que no lo suben. Pero nosotros en Sweetwater somos de bajo ingreso, no somos de alta clase que podemos pagar tanto en los impuestos a las propiedades. Aquí en esta reunión tenemos dueños de apartamentos que por causa de que se subió los impuestos a las propiedades, tuvo que también subir la renta. Esto afecta a todos nosotros en la ciudad. Aquí yo pienso que debemos bajar los impuestos a las propiedades en vez de dejarlo al mismo nivel que estaba el año pasado.
Okay. Let me just give you some head up of what happened. You weren't here last year. We had a very difficult situation on the city to the point that the city was going to go in bankruptcy. If we didn't want the taxes went up, the city wouldn't be here. Okay, that's the reason we went up, not because anybody wants to. Okay, that's one of the reasons why we increased the tax last year. We didn't have no choice. It was even that of the city was going to go in bankruptcy. So it was nothing because anybody wanted to do it. It was concept that was needed. Okay, again,
You want to repeat it in Spanish?
We want, yes. I want everybody to know that the city still owes a lot of money, okay? We owe $2 million to FEMA, okay? That is coming up. We don't know how we're going to deal with it. But they don't say that. That's what we're facing. That's what we're trying the city to go on. We don't want to hurt anybody. I've been living in the city since 1975. I have paid a lot of taxes in the city. But when it comes to the point that we have to save the city, we have to be responsible. There's nothing else we could do. Nothing else at all. What we're doing right now is working our best to keep the taxes the same, so the city, maybe next year, we're going to be in better shape. There's a lot of buildings are coming up, but we're not going to see those taxes from the buildings 2 years from now. So that's some explanation why we have the situation that we have and why we're trying to do our best. I just want to know, it's not always the good part. We have to face what's going on here. You want to say something? I'm
say it in
sorry.
Spanish.
Commissioner.
No, say it in Spanish.
Okay. Sí, ahora se lo voy a decir. Miren, hay que hablar la realidad. Todo el mundo sabemos, y eso salió en la televisión, salió en todos los datos, que la ciudad estaba en un problema económico muy grande. ¿Ok? Se tuvo que subir los taxes porque si no la ciudad va a ir a bancarrota. Eso lo sabe todo el mundo. Eso tuvo en las noticias todos los días. Por eso fue el motivo que hubo que subir para poder salvar a la ciudad. Hubieron una cantidad de despidos de empleados grandísimos y tuvimos que apretarnos los cinturones para poder sacar la ciudad adelante. Este año estamos tratando de que no se aumente un centavo. Hay deuda a FEMA de $2 millones que se lo debe la ciudad. ¿Qué va a pasar? Vamos a bajarle un poquito y el año que viene le vamos a subir un montón porque tenemos que pagarle a FEMA. La venta de los terrenos se tuvo que vender, si no, ¿a dónde íbamos a caer? Nadie quería vender los terrenos.
El banco venía con orden judicial de coger los fondos que tenía la ciudad porque se le debía más de $1,5 millones de pesos y hubo que vender un terreno.
Entonces volvemos a caer, no es capricho, queremos tratar de salvar la ciudad, ser responsables, no dañarle a nadie, no aumentar más nada para poder el año que viene, si Dios nos ayuda, poder y tengamos esos edificios ya que están andando, que nos puedan dar más taxes, poder rebajar los taxes. Yo no creo que ninguno de los que están aquí, que son dueños de casa, quieren subir taxes. Yo no lo creo, ninguno, todos, la mayoría, menos el sector ellos
Mr. Borrero todavía
hold on,
sufre.
sir. Que ellos no son dueños de casa, el resto lo somos. Así que lo sufrimos todos, no vamos a aumentar nada, hemos tenido que hacer muchos bajos para poder llegar donde estamos, tenemos que hacer más cortes, claro que hay que hacer más cortes, pero que quiero que entiendan que todo no es color de rosa. Gracias.
Vice Mayor, are the territories you're talking about the purchase behind Best Buy up on 107th Avenue?
Yes.
That's the territory, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I wanted to allow for it to be sold, and I'm wondering the purpose of it being purchased a year before, 2 years before, it was never completed, of course. But we bailed out by being able to sell that to gain some money back.
Correct.
Okay, well, let's move on, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but I want everybody to be on the same page and know what's going on.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure that none of the commission here wants to raise taxes, which we're not raising taxes. They make that clear, we're not. We are doing some cut, and unfortunately, we may have to do some more. But let's keep it straight. It's not because we don't want to. It's just like we're trying to be responsible and see where we're standing. Okay, so I'm going to move on to Jose Acuencas.
Good evening, City of Sweetwater Commission, Administration, Attorney. My name is Jose Cuenca. I live at 11350-52 Southwest 5th Street, zip code 33174, phone number 786-356-8657. Regarding the taxes and the increase, and as Mr. Perez stated, that the values have appreciated and therefore has been an increase of approximately, I didn't bring my paperwork, but approximately 3 to 5%. And we owe FEMA $2 million and so forth and so on. And I agree in not increasing taxes as well as a resident and a homeowner in the city. My question is, all these additional monies that we have, when could we expect the down trees and the bulk waste to be picked up by the city of Sweetwater? 114th Avenue between 4th Street and I believe 6th Street has down trees in the middle of the street, making it very difficult to navigate through the street. And I want to ask another question. I don't want to run out of time. In addition to that, how is the city working together with FPL to prevent down trees in the future from creating electrical problems? Those are my questions for this special meeting. Thank you.
Through the chair. Alan, would you like to respond?
I'll start addressing it, Mr. Cuenca, while Alan makes it to the podium. As of today, the city has probably cleared about 95% of all the waste debris on the east side of the city. Once it finishes on the east side of the city, we'll commence on the west side of the city. We figured that if it took us close to 3 weeks to do the east side of the city, it should take us about 2 months to do the west side of the city. Unfortunately, what's making it very difficult is as much as we're telling people to not mix household debris with hurricane debris, it's being done, which then makes it worse for us because we have to then separate the waste debris from the hurricane debris. So that's one of the things that we've been trying to get to homeowners as much as possible, but that is one of the things that starts slowing down the process as well. But
That's absolutely right, Mayor. As a matter of fact, crews worked a little bit late today and got the rest of the east side of the city completely cleaned up. So other than for running back to properties again where the residents have put out garbage 2 and 3 times after it had been picked up, we have picked up all of the hurricane debris. We'll make a real quick pass-through tomorrow morning through the east side, but we're going to begin on the west side tomorrow and Saturday. And we feel like we can probably shorten that 2-month period to probably about a month, maybe 5 weeks on the west side of the city. Again, you know, we've got 9 employees out there on the road that are working 12, 14-hour days. And we're way ahead of the 8 ball on this, including cities like Doral, cities like like Dade County, like Coral Gables. I think that the crews in the maintenance department have done really a fabulous job. They're all tired, they're all worn out, they're still getting only some days off. We don't have the equipment that we used to have 3 or 4 years ago when we had 5 trucks. Now we're down to 2. We used to have 3 cranes, now we have 2. So in spite of the lack of equipment and manpower, I think they've done a great job. It'd be a lot of help if the residents would not keep putting out debris from their backyards and from wherever they're pulling it out of, so that we have to go back to the same property 2 and 3 times. But yeah, we should be done with the west side within the next 4 or 5 weeks.
Thank you.
Madam President? Just for informational purposes for the commission, a couple of the speakers have made references to increases in property value. And I want to remind the commission of Amendment 10 of the Florida Constitution that became effective sometime in 1995. That the Save Our Homes cap. The 3% cap. Exactly, which basically protects homeowners that regardless of that increase in property value, the taxation of that additional increase cannot exceed 3%. So that is an additional protection for homeowners as it relates to high increases in home values relative to additional taxation. It would only be 3%.
Okay, we have now Paco Ruiz.
Excuse me, Commissioner, my second question wasn't answered.
What was your second question?
Let me read it out.
Yeah.
How is the city working together with FPL to prevent downed trees in the future from creating electrical problems? Also, how is the city working right now with FPL? And I'll give you an example. On my street, on 5th Street, between 113th Avenue and 114th Avenue, there's only 2 light poles. My block's been dark since the storm because it knocked the power out of those 2 light poles. So I'm just wondering, what is the city doing? How are they communicating with FPL? 1, to restore everything how it was before, and 2, how to prevent this from happening in the future, trimming trees, I don't know. What is the contingency plan for the city?
I can answer that as well. We are not allowed to cut the trees around the power lines. The only one that can do it is FPL. Every year before the storm season, you're always screaming bloody murder to come out and do it, and they get around to it, but obviously everybody in the whole county is doing that as well. But they they try to do their best to get around it. We cannot do it. We cannot cut the trees around the power lines. Only FPL can. Then as far as down power lines or lights that are working, FPL has been given a list of every single down power line, damaged pole, and street lights as well that are not working. When they're going to get around to it, your guess is really as good as mine. It's really, their priority right now is to get everybody to get power, and then they're starting taking care of people. Like, we had residents in the city, let's say that, and this was a huge FPL issue when they would light up blocks. Let's say they would light up one phase, so there was houses that had 110 power and didn't have the 220, so their AC didn't work and their stoves wouldn't work. And let's say those houses were not a priority for FPL because I told them, you've got partial power, we're trying to restore somewhere else, then we'll come back and start gearing those things. But it's a huge problem right now. It's not only FPL, because FPL has countless numbers of subcontractors here in the state of Florida fixing all these things. Honestly, it's your guess as good as mine when they're going to start getting back to all the all the light poles that aren't working, as well as the power poles that are damaged and anything. They're aware of it because we may know it, but we don't know.
The reason why I ask is because I submitted a work order for my block, and I just received communication a few days ago that the work order is now being worked on for those 2 light poles. That's why I asked, has the city communicated to them?
Yeah,
because they're just communicating
every
to
single
me.
light post that's out, down power line, damaged pole, they know about it. Now we don't know when they're going to get around to it. And there's a lot of times that FPL will tell you we'll get to everything by Sunday. Not necessarily the truth. They will get to it though.
Okay, thank you.
Paco Ruiz.
Good evening. My name is Paco Ruiz, and I represent Lil Abner Foundation on 11387 West Flagler Street. First thing I want to say is just a little bit about about myself, of why I got involved with the Lil Abner Foundation. I was very fortunate that my parents sacrificed and put me in a Catholic school throughout my 12 years of schooling, and after that, I decided with my wife to get involved in the Catholic Church, and I have been working there for 45 years in different movements of the Catholic Church, including I dedicated the first few years of my professional career to teaching at a Catholic school, at St. Thomas University, and at Miami-Dade Junior College. Then went on to work in a Fortune 500 company for 30 years. When I retired, Raul from the Lil Abner Foundation called me and said, Paco, I want you to take over the Lil Abner Foundation, and I accepted. The reason I say this is because we're talking today about a low-income city. I lived in this city. I don't live in the city right now, but I lived in this city for almost 5 years when I got married. And I fell in love with the city, and so I decided to come back. Being a low income, what I want to do the rest of my life is help poor people and people that don't have the resources to help themselves. This is why I dedicate my life to the Lil Abner Foundation today. And I will do everything in my power that I can to encourage the commissioners and Mayor Orlando Lopez to help the Lil Abner Foundation. We are asking, because you are low income, to help us with funds from the city, which a couple of years ago the city pledged to us $35,000, and we were only able to prove $31,000 that we're asking them to pay us. And we're asking for a 3-year deal at very low of $35,000 per year, and whatever they give us, we will take, because we want to serve the city. For those of you that are not familiar, we tutor children for free, and every day from Monday through Thursday, and anyone in the city that comes, we help them. And we do other activities for the children. Our motto is teaching education through physical fitness. And you're all welcome to visit the foundation. Many of the, I think most of you have been to the Lil Abner Foundation, including the mayor, and this is what we're asking. And today we have asked just a couple of the families that have their children there to just let you know what it means to them as parents and for their children. And that's all I'm asking for. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paco.
Through the chair.
Go ahead.
Paco, I think you failed to mention a few things, and I know your time is limited, so I'll take some of your time. The Lou Abner Foundation helps 250 children a year, specifically children in the city of Sweetwater. La Fundación de Lou Abner ayuda más de 250 niños, y específicamente los niños que viven en la ciudad de Sweetwater. Ha ayudado inmensamente, con confianza, respeto, educación, y hay una falta de respeto en la calle, y lo que yo he aprendido sobre mi tiempo con la fundación de Lou Abner Foundation, tiene muchos eventos durante el año, tienen archery classes. I don't know how you say archery in Spanish, Paco.
Arco y flecha.
There you go. Taekwondo, clases de dance, ballet, tutoring, SAT prep, ayudan a los estudiantes prepararse para el examen de la universidad, y todo lo hacen para la comunidad. Y lo que están haciendo la Fundación de Lou Abner es pidiéndole fondos a la ciudad para seguir sirviendo a la comunidad. So I wanted to reiterate that.
Go ahead. Yeah,
Voy a mencionar esto, pero esto todavía no es fijo. Estamos tratando de trabajar con la universidad Florida International University. We're trying to work with, because their honors students are the ones that teach the classes at Lil Abner. Okay, we partner with them, but we're trying to get them, and they are very excited to bring to the people in Sweetwater that do not have any health insurance once a week the FIU Mobile Health Clinic to the city, and we are very close to accomplishing this. That's all.
Sara Rodríguez. Please come.
Buenas noches para todos.
Your name and address for the record, please. ¿Usted necesita un intérprete o no?
Sí, sí.
Sí.
Bueno, tenemos un intérprete aquí profesional. Ella viene enseguida para acá.
Yo soy maestra de inglés como segunda lengua y
Pues
del
ya,
college,
qué mejor.
Ahora estoy retirada, pero eso fue lo que hice.
Gracias por estar aquí.
Sí, yo
Creo que tienes que dar tu nombre y dirección.
Mi nombre es Sara Rodríguez, 11391, No West, Segunda Terra. Yo tengo hace años arrobe en la fundación. Yo tengo arrobe hace años en la fundación.
For many years now, she has had, what is your name, Robert? Robert in the foundation, the Little Abner Foundation, right?
Y yo tengo en los dos deportes, archería, que hace poco cogió primer nivel a nivel de toda la Florida.
So he
Que-
won many medals. Enséñale.
In archery.
In archery.
Él tiene aquí, él está en dos deportes. Lo tengo en archería y lo tengo en taekwondo.
Okay, and both of them, archery and what?
Taekwondo.
Y para mejorar en la escuela lo tengo en una tutoría que empieza a las 4 de la tarde. Yo entro ahí a las 4 y salgo a las 9 de la noche.
So she goes in at 4 and leaves at 9 and he's there for tutoring also.
Él hace sus tareas, termina y empieza con su deporte.
So
De
first
lunes
the
a
homework
viernes.
And then the sports.
Y entonces, bueno, ahí él hace su tarea, ha mejorado mucho y él ha ahí aprendido todo.
He has learned a lot, he gets his homework done and he's gone forward. Ha aprendido mucho, right? Learned a lot.
Y ahí ya, hace poco el alcalde y Solina le dieron un diploma de reconocimiento por haber cogido el primer lugar en la Florida.
Oh, so he received a
Y yo veo que
certificate from the mayor.
yo veo que la fundación es muy completa en lo que es con todos los niños de ahí de Seawater, porque le enseña, lo encamina y también hacen deporte y bueno, yo veo todo muy
She thinks
completo.
it's a complete deal. The foundation is because they helped a lot of the young children from Sweetwater.
Okay, gracias. Thank
De
you.
nada.
Through the chair.
Go ahead.
Señora Rodríguez, sobre la disciplina que usted ha visto en la fundación de Lou Abner, ¿Qué opinas sobre la disciplina que le dan a los niños
Es increíble.
y el respeto que le enseñan a los niños?
Bueno,
I'll
el
translate for her, thank you.
Ok, el maestro es un maestro intachable,
The
un maestro
instructor
muy
is
preparado,
impeccable. He's
muy
very
preparado,
prepared,
y él da todo por sus alumnos.
and he gives everything for his students.
Es incondicional, porque los alumnos lo respetan
His passion is
y él
unconditional,
enseña ese respeto a todos los alumnos.
and his students respect him, and he respects them more.
Y para mí es una fundación muy importante.
For me, it is an important foundation. Muchísimas gracias.
No, gracias a
Para mí
ustedes.
también.
Que tengan buen día.
José Azán.
Good night. My name is Jose Molina. My son Alejandro Hassan. We've been in the foundation for around 7 years now. He's participated in many activities in the foundation: taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, boxeo, boxing, archery, and ACT, tutorial, many things. He got even recognition for the mayor, for the city. The foundation helped a lot to us, even to my wife. She's learning English in there. We're very grateful with the foundation so far. It's a great staff. He's helping now to teach other kids taekwondo. I want to say a few words if you allow him.
Please.
Hello, my name is Alejandro Hassan. As he said, the foundation has given us a lot of opportunities. Also given me the opportunity to, teach kids, the values of taekwondo, and also it's helped me back with learning leadership. Just helped me throughout high school and other various situations in life. Overall, foundation is great. Also archery. The archery program is amazing. The Professor Alvaro, great guy. He has patience. He respects everyone, and just overall amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we have Raúl Rodriguez.
Who's that guy?
Yes, name and address for the record, please.
My name is Raul Rodriguez. Address is 11387 West Flagler Street, representing the Lil Abner Foundation. Thank you, Commission. Thank you, Mayor, for the opportunity to come in front of you and be able to give a small little description of what I feel for this city. As most of you know me already, I'm pretty sure most of you know me already. I was pretty much grown up in the city since birth. My family owns the mobile home park, plus other properties across the city. I know what it is to be inside the trailer park on after-school programs and weekends and working every single summer. But my father always taught me one very important thing, is never forgetting where you came from. And to me, this is my city, our city. So my ultimate goal was that if I was able to do a little bit for myself, it was my responsibility and my duty to give back to the city. Hence, that is why I created the foundation. And I named it after the trailer park that I consider myself, I grew up in, Lil Abner. The foundation started very small, with basically 5 kids, me teaching English class that I can, not that good in English, and also teaching soccer that I've never played before in my life. But it was my way of giving back. It expanded. Since its inception, it's gone through more than 2,000 children through its doors. 2,000 children. That's quite a big number of kids. To give you a little bit of description on the foundation and the successes that it's had, I'll start off with the Taekwondo. To the point that the Olympic team coach has sponsored us and partnered with us. The U.S. Olympic coach has partnered with us. Tell me what other Taekwondo program in Miami-Dade County has that? 0. The archery program, which we are one of 3 in all of Dade County, one of 3, 2 of which are indoor, and we're one of them. These are the type of programs that we give to this city, that nowhere else do they have, and it's for free. We offer tutoring Thanks to other grants that we've been able to get, we've been able to hire teachers from Sweetwater Elementary to come and tutor the children. Again, free to the community. The dance class, again, we started it, and they started it last year, and we won the county fair. Again, free to the girls. These programs, if anybody's familiar with extracurricular activities, I have 5 children. They're very expensive. A lot of people can't afford these programs. And they're free to these children here, to your citizens, to your community. I have, sorry for my Frank, busted my rear, as they say, to make sure that I do my part. All I'm asking is for a little bit of help. I don't think it's much. Not only that, we also have offered English classes, citizenship classes. We've given nutrition classes that we just started again with FIU. We've partnered with just about every major entity out there. The one missing link is the city, in which the foundation bases its pride on. And that's a problem, in my eyes. Not only have we offered all these amazing activities to the kids, we've also created a soccer program that we're about to start tomorrow, which we've partnered with the U.S. Soccer Federation, pretty much the MLS. Again, they will be offering a soccer league for free to the city. I need help. I need help. I can only do so much. I really need your support, all of your support, all of yours. It's time to put the differences away and for us to work together. I can only do so much. And I'll keep on carrying the torch. I'll keep on pushing forward, no matter what anybody here says. At the end of the day, it's for these citizens back here. Hassan, please stand up. Please. That child right there started the program from the very beginning. White belt. He was our first black belt. I don't know if you heard it, but he's ranked nationally. Nationally. And what he's done instead, not only is he ranked nationally, he's decided to give back to his community, and now he's an assistant coach for the team. That's what the foundation is for. To be able to give these kids the opportunity to succeed, but more importantly, to learn to give back. And that's why we're all here. Most importantly, that's why all of you are here. To teach these kids that there's chances and there's opportunities. And to always reach for the stars. It's your duty and it's your responsibility to help this foundation. And that's what I'm asking for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Through the chair.
No, hold on. I have something to say. Okay, my question to the city attorney. I was not a commissioner at that time, but I know it was an agreement to pay in October 2014. As a matter of fact, I think it was a resolution where they were going to be granted some money to the foundation. The foundation has $31,774.57 that is owed to them since a year ago. How can the commission do about it in order to be able to get them paid this amount of money that we owed? This is nothing new. This is something that we owe to them.
Madam President, I know that that particular set of circumstances go back at least 2 years. And to the best of my recollection, the agreement was for the foundation to take care of certain events, and upon a show of expenditures, proof of expenditures on a reimbursable basis, the city would make certain payments. I understand from recollection as well that yes, some proof of expenditures was provided to the city, and from what I understand, no payment was submitted. Relative to how the city now can go ahead and take care of that, which is your question, I frankly would have to take a look at those documents and more than likely sit down with the folks from administration and see where we are with that, so I can provide the commission an answer. That has not happened, and I haven't seen anything related to that for a while, so I would have to honestly go back, see where we are with everything, and be able to provide the commission an answer, in all fairness.
How long would it take this process for them to get paid? Because they have been waiting for such a long time.
I understand the issues coming up now. You're asking the question, Madam President. I would have to really sit down with administration and see where we are. I cannot give you at this point an opinion because I have not seen anything related to that in 2 years. So frankly, I think that in all fairness, the best thing that I can do to give you an informed answer is to basically, look at not only the agreement, but look at whatever it's there and get with administration and at that point come back to the commission with some answers. I don't have those answers right now.
Mayor, do you think that we're going to be able to resolve this problem?
As Cuadra is saying, I don't really remember. I know that this was discussed a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. I know that this was tossed back onto the city attorney at the time, Cuadra, because there was a couple of issues. One, that funds were never allocated from anywhere. The agreement was never signed. I gave it to the city attorney. I said, I need your interpretation as to where we have to be on this and, what's the obligation. And I don't really believe there was any form of outcome because I know that we were waiting for receipts or something, so I don't think it ever evolved into anything after that. But we can look into it sometime this week or next week at least.
So let me just, Madam President, just get with the mayor, get a hold of everything that's there, and come back to the commission as quickly as possible with a response on that
We
issue.
need to allocate this money on the budget, so if we are ready to pay, the money will be there?
The way that I can answer, if you have, frankly, I think I would defer to the finance director because I don't know the state of the current budget, or the commission may take some action in the upcoming budget to actually take care of that. But I would defer on an issue of funds and availability of funds. I would defer to administration and the finance folks.
Okay, no, I just want to make sure that if it comes across that, you actually get all the bills and everything, that we have the funds so we can pay them. That's what I'm trying to see. If we need to
Understood.
where the money's going to be allocated from.
Understood, but again, that is
At this point?
That's a financial issue, and I would have to defer to the finance folks.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Do I have to?
No. Go
Get my
ahead,
address
just-
in. So, thank you, Commission. I didn't know it was going to be this much trouble after 2 years, and I'm a little bit confused because it's been less than 2 years since we've had these conversations with some of you here, and Paco has turned in the receipts, and we have done everything according to how you guys have asked us to do it. But at the end of the day, it's not about you guys. It's about the kids, and it's about the city. And that being said, moving forward, and probably Paco knows me a little bit, so hopefully he doesn't get mad at me after this. You don't need to pay us. Don't worry about the $31,000. I'll put it out of my pocket, and I'll continue to fund the foundation. I'll continue to do everything without the support of the city. It doesn't matter because for me, it's about the kids. It's not about you guys. So at the end of the day, again, thank you very much for your time. And I'm not going to stop there. One day, I will build a family center here. Somewhere, somehow, but before my time is over, I will build a family center here for the community. And if I have to just name it after the city, which it's rightfully so, or after the trailer park, I will do so myself. Thank you very much, and thank you for your time.
Through the chair.
It's fair.
Through the chair. Raul Curex. Curex, please. Sir, you failed to mention that of all the things that your foundation does for free, what you and your family do for free, you're also a proud policeman here in the city of Sweetwater for free. Everything that your foundation and your family and you, sir, have done for this city, let me first apologize and tell you, look at you square in the face and tell you that we have failed as a city. For 2 years, the Ladner Foundation has had the opportunity to sue the city of Sweetwater, but because of your honor and your integrity, You have chosen not to. So I commend you for that. I understand how frustrated you are, not only as a resident, as a vested member here in the city of Sweetwater. You are obviously frustrated at the lack of efficiency and failure in government that we as a city have failed in. Whether this commission, this mayor, previous commissions, previous mayors, regardless, we are here and we have to be held accountable for our actions. We are the face of the city. So I understand your frustration. I know you personally. And when you get frustrated, you do things like that. And you say, forget it, I'll take care of it myself, and you'll figure out the funding. But sir, we have to hold our end of the bargain. And I commend you, Madam Chair. I commend you, Madam, for allowing this item to be brought up again. I've brought up that item on several occasions. I hope and I pray that this commission sees the failures of the past and we can start mending the fence, put politics aside, and I believe we're all on the same page and we see the value in what the Little Abner Foundation does. Now, I'm a bit selfish because my son, who suffers from ADHD, has been tutored at the Little Abner Foundation, not by one, not by two, by three tutors sitting around him in a semicircle trying to get him to concentrate and focus on math, which is why I advocate so much for the Little Abner Foundation. So I commend you, madam. I'm a very passionate man, and I have no problem crying for my city, for my foundation, for my residents. Let's get the foundation paid. Let's continue helping this foundation. Hopefully the foundation can move forward and help our children in our communities. With that, I yield the floor.
Okay, that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're all gonna be working for to do.
Thanks.
Okay, Eduardo M. Suarez, like I said, I'm waiting when the city attorney gets together with the administration, so update us and
We'll
I
do
think
that
they
as quickly.
deserve to get paid.
We'll do that as quickly as
That's no
possible,
doubt
Madam
about
Chair,
it.
and give the commissioners the options to basically make a decision.
Okay, thank you. Eduardo M. Suarez, Commissioner?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Attorney, City Clerk. My name is Eduardo M. Suarez. I reside at 11332 Southwest 7th Street, Sweetwater, Florida. I have two items, the budget and the pumps. Related to the budget, I am trying to be blunt, sweet and short. When you were trying to lower the budget to the rollback rate, 4.2151, so the taxes will not be increased because we have more ad valorem this year, so we can go back to the 4.2151 and maintain the same rate of tax. To that point, you are helping the most needed of the city. The proverbial senior citizen, 70 years old, $700 a month Social Security check, renting, not owner, because there will be no reason for taxes purposes, property, for the landlord to increase his rent, because the property taxes are going to stay. He may have find another reason, but not the property taxes. When you go below the rollback rate, the thing switches. You are helping the less needed and not the most needed, because the taxes are going to be lower, and usually, commonly, landlords don't lower taxes. When the taxes are increased, it's more common to see the rent. I say landlord doesn't increase rent. If the taxes increase, more commonly the rent increase. So be careful if you want to try to go below the rollback rate. Which end of the equation are you helping? The most needed or the less needed? The most needed, the proverbial senior. The less needed, the property owner, the landlord. So keep that in mind, please. On the pumps. I have a petition that I'm going to give you a copy to each one of you. The pen. That I that I went around my hood asking for signatures, and everyone was super willing to give me their signatures. And the petition reads like this: Sweetwater, September 28, 2017. Honorable Mayor Orlando Lopez and Honorable City Commissioners. We, the undersigned neighbors, request an immediate solution to the flooding caused by the not working pumps at Southwest 113th Avenue and 5 Terrace, and Southwest 114th Avenue and 2nd Street, and the pumps at Southwest 114th Avenue and 5 Terrace operating very inefficiently. We're operating, but very inefficiently, the only one out of the 3 of my hood, due to the debris covering many of the drainage inlets. The flooding experienced during Irma and the one on the afternoon of 9/27, that was yesterday afternoon, we had a bad rain for 1 hour, indicate a faulty system when most needed, especially now due to the tropical disturbance expected to dump lots of rain for the next several days, beginning this evening. Your residents and property owners would appreciate an immediate attention to this very important matter. I'm going to give you a copy of this with 35 signatures in my hood.
Commissioner, let me ask you something. You were a commissioner just like us. You were sitting, as a matter of fact, right there. You who were here, or any of us, have the power to say, put the pump, check, work on the pump? Are you allowed to take any employees to do something? Are we allowed to?
You are not allowed to order any city employee, as far as I understand the charter, to do a job. You got to go through the administration.
So why is you addressing to the commissioners when we can do nothing about it?
To make you aware of the situation.
Okay, I just want to clarify that because I don't know how can I help.
To make you aware of the situation, and as a consideration to keep you informed of the issues of the city, we should be very aware of, because through legislation, you can put ordinances to resolve some of these issues. As far as I know, the city doesn't have a plan, a contingency plan for the problems that we're having right now. The effects of Irma, the flooding, the pumps, the debris, and you have the power through ordinance and resolution to make the administration implement those problems. If you don't know what's going on, how are you going to?
No, of course, but I'm saying that I don't have a power to do anything.
I didn't say that you had the power, but I say that you can influence through resolution and ordinances.
The chair.
Go ahead.
I'm going to reiterate what I said earlier. We have 9 employees, and we've been tasked with cleaning up the city. And we get plenty of complaints from everybody that we're not doing it fast enough. And I'm going to say it's the opposite, that we have done miracles, that we have gone out of our way to inconvenience the employees to the point that they don't even take the time off when they have a death in the family so that they can continue working. So the problem is quite simple, as ex-Commissioner Suarez mentioned. If there's a drain that is somewhat clogged at this point, what it would require is for the vector to come out and clean the drain. All of the hurricane debris, the leaves, the small branches that were absorbed in those drains may have partially clogged them. Not too long ago, you cut $30,000 out of the wages for the maintenance department. What we need is more employees and more equipment. So somebody to ask that beyond what we are already doing to come out with a vector and clean the drains is quite frankly asking a little bit much.
Well, actually, they claiming that the pumps were not working.
The pumps work, all of them work. We have certification from a private company that comes out every year that certifies that the pumps are working. They turn them on one by one. I would be happy to provide the commission with that certification from a company called Hydro Services.
I was asking because one of the things that was said over here, that the pumps were not working, that's what he was stating.
Yeah, the pumps are working.
Through the chair.
Suarez.
Those pumps were installed, what, 2012, 2013? Roughly around that time?
No, the pumps were installed at different times, but the problem is that the pumps don't trigger when you have water on the ground. You have to have standing water for a period of time before the pumps start, because this is a DERM issue where you have to make sure that standing water is drained or filtrated as much as possible into the ground before the pumps start pumping directly into the C4 canal. So if you have rain for an hour, the pumps are never going to turn on. And I don't care what happens. You had a couple of inches of water in the ground, they're never going to turn on. Now, the issue of, let's say, cleaning out the drains and removing the leaves, this would be the equivalent of putting on your shoes before you put on a suit. You can't go out and start cleaning the drains until you get all the trees out, because you can go out and clean up drains today and then they're going to be littered with leaves tomorrow until you remove all the trees. We have actually sent not the vector out, but the sweeper out into trees into areas that we already cleaned, to then be followed afterwards with the vector. But until we don't get around to the areas and pick up all the trees, we can't go out and vector or send a street sweeper as well.
I'm going to go ahead and say something, and this is for the administration, for engineering. I know Eric Gomez is a very capable engineer. Moving forward, really, if we want to increase drainage in the city, we can go ahead and install French drains. Basically, French drains are just pipes that have holes cut into them, and what they do is they facilitate the percolation. Right now, what we have are closed drains and closed pipes. So the water just basically sits in there, and they can eventually bubble up into the inlet and then spill out into the streets, which is what happens when you have a lot of rain. Again, this is an engineering issue. It's what the city's looking for. You can go to LEED sort of engineering. It's a little more expensive, but you get the green effect and you get more city percolation, or more percolation throughout the city that gets into the ground filtration. Again, we're into a period where we had a lot of rain before the hurricane. The hurricane brought a lot of rain itself. I don't know if it exceeded the 100-year occurrence. It might have. I'm not sure. I haven't seen I don't think anybody's really done the reports yet.
Through the chair, actually, about 50% of the drains in the city are actually French drains. The only problem is that when, like you're saying, when you have a lot of water before, water will not percolate because the grounds are saturated. So the French drains don't drain. And then that's when the catch basins will actually go into the pump systems and will pump into the C4. Correct. But they'll only do it after so much amount of time where you can't discharge all these waters before, because you're polluting the C4 canal. Yeah, it's not a city issue or anything, it's a DERM issue.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
That's it?
Yes.
You let me finish,
Commissioner?
please? Yes. I don't doubt that there are certifications for the pump. When were those certifications? They were done last week or they were done last year? Number two, the mayor mentioned need 6 inches of water for the floater inside the basin to turn on the pump. This is the grid that you see on the street, and you can see the level of the water on the basin, usually about here. I got one in front of my house, and I check others, the same thing that I'm describing here. This is the grid that you see. This is the level. When the pumps are working, the level is still stay here, and you can hear through here the suction of the pump, and water coming in, being sucked in from the street, rolling in, and the level remain because the pump is constantly sucking. What happened during Irma, Mayor, is that level didn't stay there, and there was no sucking noise of the vacuum caused by the pump, and the level started rising, and it started blowing out of the grid on the top, the grid. And we got about 6 inches of water on the crown of the street and 1 inch away from the floor of my house. I haven't seen that since 2000.
and we had it in Irma, and we had it yesterday in the 1 hour super rain that we had. The water, instead of going in, flowing out, coming up higher, higher, and higher. Thank you.
Through the chair. I thought those pumps had a tri-float system in them, where you have the initial pump.
They
with
have a
certain-
float system in there, but there's supposed to be a certain amount of water standing. I don't know if it's calculated by pressure or how it's calculated exactly. I would have to ask Eric. But I know that they're not meant to trip quickly because you have to have as much water percolate into the aquifer before they go into the C4 canal.
They have a time delay.
Right.
Yeah, and Commissioner may be right. Water may have built up because when the pumps are working, and it's not just one pump at a particular address, but several of the pumps in that side of the city are working and pumping water into the canal. When the level of the canal reaches the same height as the drains, if the canals are not emptied, we get backflow. So the pumps can be working, but you can have water rising inside the catch basin. Okay.
Blanca Ruiz. Blanca Ruiz. ¿No? María Guido. Tienes que venir, por favor, acá for the record. Si usted necesita un intérprete, tenemos la maestra. Please, the teacher.
Por favor. Buenas noches.
Su nombre y su dirección, por favor.
María Guido.
María Aguido.
Thank you for interpreting.
550 Southwest 115 Avenida. Buenas noches, señores comisionados. Esta es la primera vez que yo estoy en esta es la primera vez que yo estoy en esta reunión de este meeting referente a los presupuestos de la ciudad.
This is the first time that I'm here at a meeting like this to talk about the taxes, city taxes.
Okay. Le agradezco al señor Manuel David Barrero y al señor Marco Villanueva porque lo conozco él personalmente, llegó a mi casa para su promoción, lo mismo para él, y le agradezco a él principalmente al señor David Barrero porque es primera vez que yo tengo de estar participando en una reunión aquí en Ciguare.
I want to thank Mr. Borrero and Mr. Villanueva for coming around to my house and making it possible for me to be here for the first time in a meeting.
Y tomarnos en cuenta como ciudadanos de la ciudad de Ciguare. Primera vez que yo tengo de estar aquí.
And I'm being taken as an account as a citizen of Sweetwater and being able to be here.
Durante 14 años que tengo de vivir aquí en esta
I've been
ciudad.
here for 14 years in this city.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Gracias, señora.
Thank you.
Diana Céspedes. Teacher, I don't think you can go away.
I think you're gonna have to start charging us for services.
Ese my santo.
Yeah.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Diana Vidal Céspedes. La dirección 11560 Southwest 6 Street, Miami, Florida 33174. Bueno, es la primera vez también que yo vengo. Soy madre de familia, soy madre divorciada. Entonces, mi problema es que si van a subir los impuestos a la casa, me pone muy...
Okay, so this is my first time here also. I'm a mother, I'm a single mom, I am divorced, and if the taxes are going up, I'm a little bit...
Entonces, como el trabajo que yo tengo, trato de esforzarme para pagar mi casa. Y si nos aumentan el impuesto, entonces no sé qué va a ser de nosotros.
With the
Como
job,
yo,
with the
perdón.
job that I have, I make an effort to try to pay my home, taxes. And if the taxes go up, then it's gonna be hard for me.
Como yo, hay muchas personas en la
There are
misma
many people
situación.
like me in the same situation.
Entonces lo que nosotros como madres, que somos cabeza de familia, necesitamos que nos bajen más el impuesto, no
So
que nos
as
suban.
mothers who are head of family members, we are asking for your help in this matter.
Les agradecería mucho, sé que hacen lo mejor, el trabajo que ustedes hacen, pero quisiéramos que ustedes vean también que somos el pueblo, que no tenemos el trabajo que ustedes tienen o el sueldo que ustedes
I
tienen.
know that you're doing the best job possible here, but us that we don't do the type of work that you do,
Pero trato yo de salir adelante con mi trabajo, no tengo las 40 horas o más de 40 horas.
I'm trying to go forward with the job that I have. I don't have to complete 40 hours to
Pero
work,
trato de pagar la renta de mi casa,
but I'm trying to pay the rent.
porque
my house
tengo que
rent.
ver a mis hijos y tengo que vivir también tranquila yo.
Because I look after my sons and I want to also live in peace.
Les agradecería mucho que también ustedes vean al pueblo que lo necesitan a ustedes.
I also would be thankful to you to look out for the city that needs you.
Bueno, muchísimas gracias.
Through the chair.
Go ahead.
Para clarificar, y muchas gracias por venir, esta comisión, la reunión pasada, votó para tentativamente mantener los impuestos en la misma cantidad que se mantuvo que el año pasado. Así que no te preocupes, que nosotros estamos de acuerdo que no lo vamos a subir. Lo que sí no estamos de acuerdo es que algunos, yo pienso, algunos queremos bajar los impuestos para recibir menos impuestos de propiedades que se recibió que el año pasado, y otros comisionados quieren mantenerlo en la misma cantidad. Para darte mi opinión y mi posición, yo sí pienso que debemos bajar el amillaje y cuánto recibimos en los impuestos a las propiedades. Ojalá que podamos llegar de la cantidad que recibió hace solamente 2 años atrás, que es la mitad de lo que se recibe este año. En 2016 se recibió 3.7 millones de dólares en los impuestos de las propiedades, y este año en este presupuesto está el mismo que el año pasado, que se fue lo que se subió a 6.6 millones de dólares.
I want the residents to know that last year, the city had 0 reserve. If we would have Irma hit us, what are we gonna do? How can we help the residents? What can we do about functioning the city? We didn't have no reserve. Now we're trying to build some reserve because we didn't have any. There's a lot of issue that probably the residents doesn't know about it. And again, how can we build reserve? If Irma's would hit us, we would be in serious trouble. A city cannot be working without reserve. That's the reason why we're trying to do the best we can.
Through the chair.
Go ahead.
I agree with you, Madam Chairman, and I'd like to actually expand a little bit on what you're saying. The city would have probably been able to roll about $500,000 or $600,000 from this year's budget into the following year's budget in reserves. But due to cuts in this budget, it's using, I believe, $385,000 of last year's reserve monies to balance this budget. Any other cuts to this budget are unwarranted, they're unresponsible to do it at this point in time. Other things, as you said earlier today, is that we are in the process of a FEMA audit where looks like we're going to have to pay about $2 million back to FEMA for monies that were awarded the city between 99 and 2000, that whether they are requested in a year or a payment plan is established over 5. That's $400,000 that would have to prudently be budgeted every single year from this point forward, which are not in this budget. To address another thing that Commissioner Borrero says, that which is not true as well, that the millage rate that was adopted this year is not a tax decrease, it is a tax decrease. Just because you had a $500,000 increase in taxable value between this year and last year and this year means that you just had $500,000 in new properties that are paying taxes. When you lower the millage rate from 4.5 to 4.2, you're actually lowering taxes. It's a $500,000 that the city is receiving less, but it is a decrease in taxes. It's not just a decrease in revenue, it's a decrease in taxes.
Through the chair.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, we have an opportunity where we don't have to rely on the pockets of residents to balance our budget. We have many revenue sources from which we can draw from. We have sales, franchise, and utility taxes, licenses, permits, and ordinances. We can take a look at other very creative ways of raising the revenues that we need. We can also cut expenses. Why do we need to raise taxes, why do we need to collect the same amount of property taxes from residents and property owners, albeit some new property owners that have come into the city, when we can cut expenses? I don't feel that it's right when the residents have been promised that property taxes would be lowered, that we're keeping property taxes the same amount that's collected as last year, yet in the same budget, we're increasing capital improvement expenses by, let's say, not $600,000. I'm in disagreement. I think that the residents' pockets, property owners' pockets in this city come before the business taxes that we collect, and they come before the expenses that we allocate towards expenses such as capital improvement expenses. So, para sumarlo en español, porque aquí están muchos residentes que solamente hablan español, nosotros tenemos muchos métodos creativos para poder tener el presupuesto que necesitamos para balancear el presupuesto. En vez de subir en vez de mantener la misma cantidad de que se recibió en los impuestos a las propiedades, que verdaderamente no nos ayuda, podemos subir impuestos en diferentes líneas, como en venta, en los permisos, en licencia, en la área comercial. Si este año el presupuesto de la ciudad ha crecido, aquí yo tengo en este presupuesto $20,882,000. El año pasado, en el presupuesto que fue adoptado, fue $16,970,000. El año antes que ese fue $18,592,000. Entonces, comparado con el año pasado, el presupuesto de la ciudad creció $4 millones, que es un crecimiento de 25% en el presupuesto. Y el año comparado antes que ese, creció $2 millones. Si nosotros hemos crecido tanto, if we have increased so much in our budget, ¿por qué no podemos ahorrar los residentes más dinero? Los residentes vienen primero.
To the chair. I need to address it, and I really don't want to continue on this rhetoric back and forth all night, because otherwise we're not going to get anywhere. But it's really eloquent what you said, Commissioner. You spoke like a true politician, and not an administrator. When you say that you can increase fees through franchise fees, through licenses, franchise fees are actually governed by state statute where you can't increase them. Those are actually governed by state statute, and we are told what we receive rather than what we can charge. Licenses are governed by county ordinance that they can only increase, I believe it's 5% per year on licenses. So it's very eloquent of you to say that we can start increasing it through franchise fees and licenses, but we can't. When you mentioned that road improvement is not a necessity, you've got a person in the audience, Mr. Cuenca, if he's still here, Mr. Cuenca's there, where for 2 years that I've been mayor, he's been asking a very important question that I'd be asking as a resident, that what are the plans that the city's going to do on capital improvements to start improving the streets in the city, which are a disaster. And I actually budgeted $500,000 for road improvements this year, and that budget got cut down to, I believe, $500,000. So when you make statements that that's not important for residents, that's hugely important for residents. The streets are falling apart. The streets are falling apart in the city, and the street has an obligation to its residents to start improving the infrastructure. It can't wait and only base its improvements on when it receives a grant for a drainage project, and then we can repair 5 blocks It really has to do its due process to repair all cities, all streets in the city and start improving services. I do agree that the residents shouldn't brunt the full expense of the taxes, but that is the majority of the income that comes to the city. It's about 1/3 of the income that comes to the city is through its taxable base.
Antes solamente eran 15%, ahora es 33% del presupuesto.
Sir, can you please say in Spanish, because it looks very nice what he's saying, that we need to raise all those taxes.
Correct.
What is
Let
impossible
me say it in
because we
Spanish
can't.
again for the Spanish-speaking people in the audience. Que es muy elocuente lo que dijo el comisionado David Borrero, y está hablando como un político y no un administrador de la ciudad. Cuando dice que hay diferentes maneras en que se pueden recibir o aumentar los ingresos a la ciudad, que son a través de los fees de franquicia y las licencias de la ciudad. Las fees de franquicia que se cobran a través de las por ejemplo, comunicaciones de Telecom, Florida Power Light, eso todo están gobernados por el Estado, que ellos son los que deciden qué porcentaje de esos fees vienen a la ciudad. Nosotros no le podemos aumentar esos fees porque eso está gobernado por Estatuto de la Florida. Las licencias que pagan los negocios están regulados por el ordenanza del condado, que nada más que nos permite a las ciudades subir las licencias el 5% anual. Entonces, cuando el comisionado dice que de estas son maneras que se le pueden pasar y recibir más aumentos y no a través de los taxes, no es necesariamente verdad. Otra cosa que dijo que nosotros habíamos puesto, yo había por lo menos en el presupuesto había propuesto poner $900,000 para reparar las calles de la ciudad, que dice que no es tan importante para los residentes. Yo creo que es inmensamente importante para los residentes porque las calles están destruidas en las ciudades, y si se hubiera mantenido a un nivel de $900,000, yo creo que hubiera demorado a la ciudad 14 o 15 años de poder reparar la mayoría de las calles en la ciudad. Yo creo que el nivel de impuestos debe ser prudente y mantenido al nivel donde está ahora y no rebajarlo para poder dar más servicios a los residentes y no estar cortando y menos servicios. Por ejemplo, como dijo Alan, el director de mantenimiento hace un ratico, que hace 3 años tenía 22 empleados, tiene 9 ahora. Tiene menos de la mitad de lo que tenía hace 3 años y estamos tratando de trabajar al par. El comisionado Borrero en la última reunión pidió que haya personas en el dispatch de la policía 24 horas al día, 5 días a la semana. Nada más que hay presupuestado para poner, el comisionado Villanueva, nada más que está presupuestado 2 personas, que serían de entre semana. Hay muchas cosas y servicios que nosotros quisiéramos darse a los residentes, pero si no se pueden poner el presupuesto y no pueden el dinero para pagarlo, no se le pueden ofrecer. Y la única manera grande es a través de los impuestos que son las propiedades, que es el 30%, el 33%, el 35% de los ingresos completos de la ciudad. Desafortunadamente nadie quiere pagar más impuestos, pero es de el 1/3 de los dineros que la ciudad usa para poder cubrir los gastos a través de los impuestos a las propiedades.
Through the chair. I have 2 questions for the mayor. Mr. Mayor, first, you said that we defunded $385,000 from reserves from your budget. Can you explain when we did that?
I did not say we defunded. I'm saying that if you look at page 1 in the budget, the last line says fund balance appropriation. There's $385,000 that are being used from reserves from this year's budget to balance this budget. So this budget is not being balanced with 100% of the revenues that are predicted this year, but actually $400,000 of it are from reserves that were left over from this year.
Through the chair, I don't remember, and maybe if my colleagues can remind us, I don't remember us ever allocating $385,000 from last year's reserves to fund this budget. Can anybody correct me?
Commissioner,
I don't remember.
you don't allocate that. It was done in the finance department to be able to balance this budget. Otherwise, this budget is out of balance.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but I think what I'm doing is correcting your statement when you said that the commission chose to take $385,000 from reserves.
No.
Okay,
No.
well, thank you for-
Hold on. I never said that. I said what the commission has not taken into account is that in order to balance this budget, $385,000 of reserves from this year's budget are being used for next year's budget. That there would have probably been a $500,000 or $600,000 rollover from this year into reserves, but $400,000 are being used to balance this budget.
Okay, and thank you for clarifying that.
Caesar,
I'm not done, ma'am. Thank you.
you done?
No, I'm not done. I'll let you know.
But, excuse me, Commissioner, we're not discussing this. Let's finish with the public comments, and then you talk, whatever you want to do. Let's finish with the
Sure, ma'am.
But if you want it, I mean, because we're not on the budget yet.
No.
We can discuss whatever we
That's
want.
okay. That's okay. Go ahead.
Cesar Ocampo. Blanca Ocampo.
Buenas noches.
Teacher, please.
Mi nombre es Blanco Campos y mi dirección es 550 Southwest 115 Avenida, Sweetwater. Yo estaba aquí con relación a lo de los impuestos, pero
I was here in relation to the taxes.
Okay.
Pero bueno, escuchando ahora todo lo que están diciendo, mi inquietud es, cuando ustedes llegan a tocar la puerta, lo primero que ustedes dicen, les vamos a bajar los impuestos.
So now my concern is that whenever you come to our door, you always mention that you're going to bring down taxes.
Dice el señor Orlando López, acaba de decir de que desafortunadamente los negocios no quieren o no, entonces somos nosotros. Pero ustedes llegan, tocan la puerta y dicen, no, les vamos a bajar los impuestos, pero, o sea, prometen algo que no cumplen.
You're saying that it's not the businesses, but that it's us. But then, when some of you come to our door, you promise us things that you don't actually accomplish.
You're making promises you can't keep.
Cuando llegan y tocan la puerta dicen, no, mire, necesitamos su voto y le vamos a bajar los impuestos, esto, lo otro, pero imagínense. Entonces también dijeron de que la ciudad está como en bancarrota, no sé, pero yo pienso que el FIU ha engendrado dinero, que los mules esos que están haciendo, que hicieron ahí en Flagler, también han engendrado dinero.
So we talk about bankruptcy, but I'm thinking that maybe the new malls and the university has brought in some money into the city.
Y bueno, era mi inquietud.
That was my concern.
To the chair, just to...
Say English or Spanish.
Blanca. I'm going to address you first in Spanish and then in English. Primero te voy a contestar en español y después en inglés, obviamente porque entiendes en español. Los impuestos han bajado. Los impuestos estaban a 4.5, se hizo una recomendación de poner los impuestos a 4.2, que es una reducción en los impuestos. Por ejemplo, llegar al nivel donde los impuestos estaban hace 2 años y 3 años atrás sería un nivel imposible porque obviamente los gastos suben en la ciudad y hay que dar más servicios y los servicios empiezan a costar más dinero todos los años. Pero una cosa que yo sí te quisiera decir, y esto es uno de los lemas, por ejemplo, que yo le digo a las personas muy a seguido, que hay una gran diferencia entre un político y un oficial electo. El político te va a decir cualquier mentira que tú quieras oír para poder recibir el voto. El oficial electo va a hacer lo que es prudente y fiscalmente lo que es correcto para la ciudad. Si te están prometiendo que van a bajar los impuestos sin saber lo que es el presupuesto y en qué se está gastando dinero, es una mentira porque no saben dónde está el presupuesto. Obviamente nosotros no estuviéramos presentando un presupuesto a 4.2, a 4.5 si no era necesario para poder cubrir los gastos de la ciudad. Eso se hizo para poder cubrirlo. Por ejemplo, hubieran residentes hace un año atrás que, ¿por qué quieren subir los impuestos? No es el querer subir los impuestos, era necesidad de subir los impuestos para poder cubrir los gastos. La ciudad, ni yo, ni ninguno de los comisionados en ningún momento quiere subir impuestos. El problema es que lo que los residentes tienen que entender es que hay que poner un presupuesto balanceado para poder que los ingresos sean igual a lo que son los gastos de la ciudad. Cuando se empiezan a bajar los gastos, lo que empiezan a sufrir al final son los residentes, porque empiezan a sufrir porque tienen menos servicios que van a tener. Yo no sé si ustedes saben, por ejemplo, pero hace 2 años atrás o 3 años atrás habían 7 empleados en el parque. En el presupuesto del año pasado habían 2 empleados de tiempo completo y 1 empleado de part-time. La mayoría de los recursos que se fueron en el parque se suspendieron porque no había dinero para cubrirlos. Entonces, al final, los que de nuevo sufren son los residentes. Si querían recibir servicio en los parques, no lo habían el año pasado, que en este año sí se está proponiendo para poner servicio de nuevo en el presupuesto. En el departamento de policía, hace 2 años se le dio layoff, que no sé, despido, layoff.
Sí, layoff.
Despido a 30 y pico policías en el departamento de policía. En este presupuesto se están trayendo la mayoría de esos de nuevo para atrás. Cuando no hay suficiente dinero en un presupuesto para poder pagarlo, los que de nuevo sufren son los residentes. Y por eso es que los impuestos hubo necesidad de subirlo un poco el año pasado para poder cubrir suficiente lo que eran los gastos de la ciudad. Now I'd like to say it in English so that residents can understand this. That in this budget, the millage rate has actually been proposed to be reduced from 4.5 to 4.2. Not myself or any of the commissioners at any point in time want to raise taxes unnecessarily. Taxes always have to be put at a level to be able to provide services for the residents. As I was explaining to Mrs. Ocampo, last year the Parks and Recreation went from having 7 employees to two full-time employees and 1 part-time employee, where the services in the park were reduced tremendously. The police department had 30 police officers that were laid off, and I believe Commissioner Villanueva can probably tell me if I'm correct on that number, if I'm a little shy. And this year, in this year's budget, the majority of those police officers have been given their employment again, where we are trying to have sufficient increase, or not increase, actually revenue in the tax base side to be able to provide service to the city. If a huge reduction in taxes were be done at this time, again, who suffers are the residents, because services again have to be cut. At no point in time do this myself as the administrator of the city, the mayor, or the commissioners want to raise taxes unnecessarily. The taxes are always going to be tried to put at a level to be able to provide adequate or comfortable services to the residents. And I don't think that there's a single commissioner here that would disagree with me at this time.
Through the chair.
Be brief, because I stopped Commissioner Villanueva, he might think that.
Oh, I don't mind, that's okay, I can stop
No,
a lot.
because-
Take your time.
No, don't take your time. You see, the item, after we finish with the public comments, we had the review discussion, and we can discuss anything we want.
Gracias otra vez todos los residentes que han venido, muchos de ustedes por primera vez. Yo pienso de que esto refleja que todavía existe y podemos honrar el proceso político con democracia, donde los residentes pueden expresar su voz y sus opiniones. Yo, aunque por título soy político, también soy administrador. Trabajé por 5 años administrando y nunca nos faltaba dinero en las subvenciones que yo manejé. Y actualmente, por mi tiempo, pasaron más que $20 millones en subvenciones en la ciudad, y hay récord de eso. Yo sé cómo administrar. Y entonces, con ese esfuerzo, yo le pedí al director de finanzas de la ciudad, como nosotros hemos encontrado en, how do you say, savings?
Ahorros.
En ahorros del presupuesto del año pasado, $85,700. Con estos ahorros que hemos encontrado gracias a esta junta, a la comisionada Idaña Yaño, Joniel Díaz, Cecilia Holtz, comisionado Duazo, comisionada Prisca Barreto, yo, Marco Villanueva, que encontró más que $100,000 en un error del presupuesto, y encontremos que pudimos ahorrar, ya después que todo lo que decidimos, $85,700 en ahorros. Entonces, yo propongo esos $85,700 que hemos encontrado en ahorros.
Excuse me, sir, we're not discussing this.
I know, I'm not.
I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt you. No podemos.
Commissioner, just
Hold
let,
on.
Commissioner, let the commissioner finish, please.
No, it's not like a finish, it's just like we're going out of.
That's
out of
okay,
the
but it's not gonna
we
take that
can-
much time. You can
We
let him
can
finish.
finish, and everybody could hear again. It's
Okay.
just like,
So,
you know how many people still have waiting to talk? We have quite a few.
Commissioner, I
go
just
ahead,
find it a
finish
coincidence
it up.
that every time
Finish.
that Commissioner Borrero and I speak, you silence us. So please
No,
allow him
Miss
to
Alice,
finish.
have you seen them talking?
Simply
They're
just,
waiting.
I'm referring to you. Just allow him to finish.
Okay, go ahead, finish.
gracias. Y para ponerlo en el récord, yo considero, aunque a lo mejor no están de acuerdo conmigo, todos los comisionados como amigos. Yo les respeto y aunque no pueden, a lo mejor alguien dice malas cosas de mí, jamás voy a decir malas cosas de ellos, porque siempre yo voy a tratar a mi prójimo como quieren que me traten. ¿Ok? No voy a hablar mal de ninguno de estos. Yo he dicho y he comentado y he honrado la acción que hemos asegurado que no vamos a subir los impuestos. Pero también yo sé, como le pregunté al director de finanzas, que hemos encontrado $85,700 en ahorro. ¿Qué podemos hacer con ese dinero? Tenemos dos opciones. Podemos gastar más dinero en el presupuesto o se lo podemos dar a ustedes, los residentes de la ciudad. Si nosotros bajamos el millaje a 4.15, que es menos que el 4.2 que contempla ese presupuesto, podemos dárselo para atrás a los residentes. Y eso es todo lo que yo quiero decir.
Okay, thank you. Janet Bravo.
Through the chair. I want to thank Mrs. Perez for translating for us. Thank you so much. It really goes a long way. I'm going to say it in Spanish. Muchas gracias a la señora Pérez por estar traduciendo a los residentes de la ciudad. Eso es el tipo de transparencia que nosotros queremos aquí en la ciudad, para que todos los residentes sepan exactamente lo que se está diciendo y lo que se está comentando y lo que nosotros estamos pensando. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Buenas noches a todos, mi nombre es Janet Bravo, vivo en el 550 Southwest, 115 Avenida, apartamento de 6. Tengo el gusto de conocerlos a ustedes, a lo mejor no se recuerdan de mí porque todos llegaron a mi puerta también muy amable a tocarme.
Okay, it's
pero
been a pleasure knowing you. I know you. I don't know if you remember me, but you all came to my door, so.
Pero me recuerdo de todo. Bueno, venía lo del presupuesto, ya hemos escuchado, van a decir más de lo mismo. No es que, no quiero que se sientan como que si venimos a atacarnos.
Okay, so we're not here to attack you. I'm here again to talk about the taxes. I know that we've been talking about it up to here.
Sino que venimos a expresar nuestros pensamientos y lo que sentimos,
We
y
want
no
to
que se
express our
sientan
thoughts
incómodos.
and our feelings, so we don't want you to feel bad.
Y apelando a la sabiduría, como decía él, de político a administrador, ya no son políticos, son administradores, por eso venimos apelando a la
Looking
buena
to-
administración.
So we're looking to a good administration, trying to come upon the wisdom to be able to go forward with this issue.
Y les damos gracias porque no van a subir los impuestos. Ya
Thank
es
you
una
for not
ventaja.
bringing them up.
Gracias porque no lo van a subir.
Gracias.
Pero agradeceríamos si hicieran un esfuerzo en ponerse de acuerdo, en conversarlo, sin enojarse, sin nada, porque es una comisión,
And I want to thank you
alcalde.
and ask you to please to come together in unity and talk about it and come to a result.
Si se puede hacer algo para que los puedan bajar.
If it's
Porque es de lo
possible
mismo
that
que
we can
estamos
do
hablando.
something. It's the same thing that we've been talking about up to now.
Se les agradecería porque nosotros votamos por ustedes porque confiando en ustedes que van a sacar la
We will
ciudad
be
adelante.
grateful because we voted for you, because we were actually knowing that you will be able to bring the city forward.
Y esperando que si se puede, que nos bajen los impuestos.
And hoping that if possible.
Mi promesa, se lo digo en español para poder ser, mi promesa siempre ha sido en mis 22 años, he sido elegido 24 años.
Yo tengo 25
Yo no
de vivir
voto,
aquí.
perdón, electo comisionado.
Ujú.
Llevo 45 años en la ciudad.
Yo sé.
Siempre he dicho, yo no aumento los impuestos. Yo no aumento los impuestos. Yo nunca he prometido, porque no digo mentira, de que le voy a bajar los impuestos. For 22 years I say down, not up. I never say to you down. This is impossible. You know what he said, the mayor? The mayor, Mr. Ray, said,
Sí, no, lo estoy hablando porque desgraciadamente no tengo un flyer en la mano, pero era lo que decía.
No.
Vamos, estamos hablando, ya pasamos de políticos. Ahora
So
estamos
I'm
hablando
just speaking about it
administradores.
because
Sí.
unfortunately
Ya
I don't
somos
have a flyer in my
administradores.
hand that
el próximo
stated
viaje,
that.
guarde los flyers.
Seguro que sí.
Guarde
Para
los
traerlo,
flyers cuando veas
seguro.
aquí que dice que le va a
Usted
bajar.
no sabe cuándo
Aquí lo
me voy a
tengo.
arrepentir de no tenerlo yo.
Lo tiene, no
Sorry, I
ella.
don't have one.
Sáquelo.
Le voy a dar una copia.
Sáquelo.
Ok.
Bueno,
Bueno, gracias.
Muchas gracias,
Buenas
señora.
noches y
Gracias.
espero que todo
Gracias.
siga en armonía.
Gracias.
Como comenzaron
Sí, sí,
orando,
sí, sí.
que siga en armonía en todo, con
Muchas gracias.
todos, con todos.
Gracias.
Ora por nosotros, Janet.
Hace falta, la verdad que sí.
Alejandro Mirán. Alejandro Mirán. ¿Se fue? Jesús González.
We're gonna get. Okay. No, they're gonna bring a mic.
That one won't go down that far.
Yeah, I believe the police officer, we need to have him on here.
Ponga un micrófono.
I believe in the
Voy a
back.
buscar un micrófono.
He's here, he's here.
Oh, he's in the meeting room? Oh.
Oh, yes, he's sitting back there.
Good evening, my name's Jesus Gonzalez. I live at 10950 Southwest 7th Street, to be exact, apartment 112. I've been living there on and off since May 15th, 1982. At this moment, I believe with everything that is going on with regarding development around this area, that we should be able to maintain taxes at 4.15 instead of an increase. I also believe strongly that the city has a moral obligation to continue to give the money that was promised to Little Abner Foundation. Furthermore, I believe that in the future, with, again, going back to all the development that is going on, the taxes should be able to be maintained or even lowered additionally. And that is all that I have to say.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, we have Ana Frometa.
La teacher.
Ana, busca la teacher.
Mrs. Perez,
Suárez, get a Suárez.
if you could. Oh, you're gonna use Suarez?
Que Dios me lo bendiga siempre, mi amigo.
Buenas noches, señor alcalde, comisionado y público que está aquí en general. Ana Rosa Frometa, 11387 Southwest 7th Street, Seaward, 33174, 786-863-6693. Tienen su casa.
Anna asked me about half an hour ago graciously to serve as an interpreter, but I want to say that I am not a professional interpreter. I don't intend to be one, but I want to help her.
Okay.
Hace un año ustedes estaban aquí, excepto la comisionada que hoy no se encuentra ahí. Estaba yo sentada ahí. Los impuestos se iban a, para que se enteren, se estaban 5.8, se fueron bajando, 8.5, se fueron bajando. ¿Oyeron? ¿Qué sucedió? Si la ciudad se iba a bancarrota,
About a year ago, you were all there except one commissioner that is not there anymore. And the taxes were going to be increased, or proposed to be increased to 8.5 million.
si la ciudad se iba a bancarrota, tenía que venir el gobierno y aumentar los impuestos a lo que quería el gobierno, a 9 o a 10. Yo me vine a este podio, hablé con la comisionada y le dije que se tocara el corazón para bajar esos impuestos. El señor comisionado, ahora David Borrero, estaba sentado ahí como ustedes, en el público. Él no fue capaz de pararse ahí y defendernos, decir que bajaran los impuestos. Y eso está en récord aquí. ¿Es así, señor alcalde, o no? Que yo vine aquí.
Ana, yo me imagino que sí, porque tú estás aquí en la mayoría de las reuniones.
Usted sabe que yo estoy la mayoría de las veces aquí. Señor David Borrego, en aquel momento usted no era comisionado, era uno de ellos y vivía aquí. ¿Por qué en aquel momento no le dijo a la comisionada que bajara los impuestos? ¿Por qué fui yo solamente? Y está en récord aquí. Usted fue en campaña.
I told her I was going to touch her to stop. I
Para eso quiere.
She doesn't stop. I have to remember, when the taxes, I'm going to make it very short, when the taxes were supposed to be increased or proposed to 8.5%, resident Anna is telling Commissioner, and remember, I'm the messenger, resident Anna was telling Commissioner Borrero, who was sitting there then and not here, that he didn't stood up to lower the taxes at that time with the proposed 8.5%.
No se oye.
Okay.
Entonces, en aquel momento, usted era como ellos que están aquí. No fue capaz de salirnos a defender porque usted está rentado. Yo soy dueña. Se quedó aquí, que se quedó hasta la 1 de la mañana, a un 4 puntos. ¿Cuánto fue, señor Suárez?
They were finally lowered to 4.5 millage.
Se quedó eso, pero solamente porque yo fui la única con un grupo del barrio mío que vine a protestar. Hoy aquí vienen una serie de personas a protestar, pero recuerde que en aquel momento usted estaba sentado ahí y no nos defendió, que querían un 5.8.
8.5.
8.5. Y yo fui la única que dije que se tocaran el corazón. Usted fue el que fue en mi casa a decir que iba a bajar los impuestos y le dije, ¿cómo me los baja? Explícame. Porque usted sabe que yo vengo aquí cada vez que hay reunión. Y ellos tienen derecho a venir aquí cada vez que hay reunión. Todos los lunes de cada mes, para que sepan. Todos los lunes de cada mes. Y ustedes tienen derecho a venir aquí a decirle con respeto todo lo que quieran decirle.
El primer lunes de cada mes.
I stay during those workshops for that budget meetings of last year. I stay here until very late in the night, and she is telling Commissioner Borrero that she doesn't remember seeing him staying that late to fight to lower the taxes, and she did it for her and for all the residents of the city of Sweetwater.
Ahora explícame, comisionado, ¿por qué aquí en el momento que era 8.5 no protestó y trajo a estas personas para que me protestaran? Porque eso fue un tema de su campaña. ¿Usted quiere que ahora cumplir esos temas? No, porque no lo cumplió el año pasado, que era un residente, y yo soy dueña y a mí me afecta. Ahora, si el condado coge esto, aquí nos suben los taxes a 7, a 8, así que estén bien documentados ustedes.
For aclaration, es estado, no condado.
O condado.
El estado.
Again, she repeats that the Commissioner Borrero didn't fight for lowering the taxes back then, and if the city wouldn't be able to meet the financial responsibility, we would have the county sitting on that dais instead of the commissioners that are all there now.
¿Me la puede responder?
Gracias, Ana.
No, respóndame. No me he respondido.
Eso es todo. Gracias, Ana.
Pero como eso es todo, yo quiero que me responda eso.
So let's have a recess for the 10 minutes, please.
Okay.
So we can move
Move.
on with the city.
Second.
Move.
All in favor?
Aye.
10 minutos de receso.
yo por él porque...
Ah, sí, qué bien, me encanta, ¿verdad? ¿Tú sabes que es difícil de cantar? Sí, nunca había pasado. Mira, cabrón, es diferente. ¿Tú viste el agua? Mira el agua.
Bueno, tú viste la explicación.
¿Are we already at 10 minutes?
Again?
¿Ya están los 10 minutes?
El agua venía.
It's whenever you want.
No, porque no quiero cortar a la Ya está todo el mundo fuera del baño.
En vez de entrar,
Así que deja que-
A las 9:54. Son 10 minutes after that as well.
No, pues ya cuando salga del baño vas.
Remember, you're the president.
No, I know,
Tú
but
quieres
I-
declararle
no, I
la
don't
guerra
want-
al Doral, le declaras la guerra al Doral.
La oficina de PPD debería traer copia y todo. No, excuse me. Look at her face.
A ver, para Meli que se no tiene residente, por eso. ¿Cierto o no?
Óyeme, pero no se queden dormidos, ¿verdad? Dijo eso, yo estoy explicando. Esa es la única Nadie de
Pero creo que a todo el mundo
de la cruz nomás, no pone nada. Yo sé.
Please, we're gonna start the meeting. Commissioner.
Patada dura blanca.
Commissioner, we're gonna start the meeting, please. We're gonna start the meeting. Dile que we have to go. Commissioner, please. Okay, now we're gonna continue with the meeting. Review, discussion, and consideration on changes to the fiscal year 2017-2018 tentative budget.
Through the chair.
Go ahead.
And so, as I mentioned before in my discussions, we the city here was able to find in savings $85,700, and like one of our residents, Jesus Gonzalez, pointed out, we can actually lower the millage rate a little bit with these savings, without cutting into capital improvements, without cutting into any of the additional expenses or any further into the amount that we're passing over into this year in reserves. Y se lo voy a decir en español, como anteriormente dije, a partir de la última reunión, nosotros, esta comisión, esta junta, y les doy muchas gracias por poder hacerlo, hemos encontrado en ahorros $85,700, $85,700 in savings. Aquí nosotros tenemos una oportunidad esta noche y también el 2 de octubre, que va a ser la reunión a donde finalizamos cuál va a ser la cantidad en impuestos a las propiedades que recibimos. Si lo podemos bajar, si lo vamos a mantener en la misma cantidad que el año pasado o si lo vamos a subir. So I would like to...
I'm sorry, subir no, never. Now.
Okay,
Down, yes.
let's finish. So
I'm
let's
sorry,
finish.
I'm sorry.
Gracias al comisionado, yo sé porque vi el récord que no votó la última vez para subir los impuestos. Por eso yo le aplaudo y espero que continúe. Yo sé que como un hombre y caballero no va a votar para subirlo. Pero como acabo de decir, esta comisión ha encontrado $85,700, $85,700 in savings from this year's budget compared to last year. Le pregunté al director de finanzas, I asked our finance director, what can we lower the millage rate to if we use these savings and lower property taxes? ¿A qué nivel podemos bajar el amillaje de los impuestos a las propiedades si estos $85,700 que están en ahorros se lo damos para atrás a los residentes? Y me contó por el correo electrónico que ese amillaje puede ser 4.1571. Estaríamos ahorrando $85,700. We will be saving $85,700 and we can give that back to residents. Podemos darle eso para atrás a los residentes. Yo quiero hacer otra vez, esto no es el voto final. This is not the final vote. This will not finalize anything. Vamos a tener una oportunidad final para poder declarar cuánto va a ser el índice de los impuestos a las propiedades, el amillaje, el lunes, el 2 de octubre. So pueden venir y les invito a que ustedes vengan y invitan a todos los residentes de la ciudad para que puedan estar en el proceso político. ¿Verdad? Gracias, Duazo. Y entonces, mi moción, como todavía tengo aquí el piso, my motion, what I would like to move, is to have a straw vote to entertain, to lower the millage rate from the rollback rate, which is what it's tentatively set at, to taking all those savings and giving it back to residents, to 4.1571, as one of our residents, Jesus Gonzalez, earlier mentioned. So again, I would like to move to lower it to 4.1571, saving residents $85,700 in a straw vote.
Second.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
Commissioner Borrero?
Yes, to save residents more money.
Commissioner Duazo?
4.2.
4.1.
No, he said
No.
4.2.
The straw,
Saying that the straw vote.
the straw vote,
Yeah.
Commissioner,
Commissioner Duazo.
4.2.
the straw vote is for 4.1571.
No.
Commissioner Duazo? No. Commissioner Diaz?
Yes.
Commissioner Barredo?
No.
Commissioner Holtz Alonso?
No.
President Ñaño?
No.
Okay, did not pass.
Madam
So,
Chair, Madam Chair, may I have the floor 1 second? One of the things I would like for all the commissioners to do, if they could, is go to page 1 of the budget, where it shows the revenues for the city. This is something that's very important that needs to be taken into account when a motion was just made to lower it from 4.251 to 4.1571, where you're, to be able to have this budget balanced, you'll see it says fund balance appropriation. This is $385,000, almost $386,000 that have been used, are being transferred from this year's reserves to 17-18's operational budget. An attempt to, again, lower millage any further to basically to surpass those $85,000 reduction is just basically depleting another $85,000 from last year's budget reserves, which every single commissioner on this dais right now knows that our auditor has recommended we have 3 to 4 months of reserves, which would feasibly be $5 to $6 million. There was an attempt to roll over about $500,000 to $600,000 of reserves from this year to next year. With this fund appropriation, we're only rolling over about $100,000 to $200,000. Any more reductions where we're tapping into the reserves is not fiscally responsible at all.
Through the chair.
Okay.
The reason why I voted yes, because I agree with many of the commissioners here that we should keep our taxes as low as humanly possible. With that being said, the final number that we have reached during our last meeting was 4.2151. That allows us to have breathing room. There are a lot of things that are not even present on this budget that are looming costs for the city. One, we have, which was discussed before by President Ñaño, is the FEMA payback. It's $2 million. They can come in tomorrow and say, hey, we want it. What are we going to do then? I do believe we need to start building up reserves. I do believe, and obviously I campaigned for that, I do believe in capital improvement projects and public works projects. I think that we could definitely see our city grow and progress. And I don't think that we're doing anything crazy by setting the millage rate to 4.2151. We're keeping it the same. We are working with what we have. We're doing the best possible job with what we have. Do I want it at 4.157? No, I want it lower than that. I really do, but right now it's not feasible. We have that. We also have all the costs that we're incurring right now from picking up after Hurricane Irma. We're not going to get all that money back from FEMA. What was it? Even if we make the deadline, we're looking at what, 70%?
70% reimbursement.
70% reimbursement. So if we spend $1 million to pick up the city,
We're calculating about 1.5.
1.5.
So we're going to be responsible for about $450,000 of that money.
Thank you. That's another looming cost that's not present in this budget. So when looking, and I would love to save an additional $85,000 for the residents. I really would, and I don't think any other commissioner here would be against it. But we have to look at what's in front of us. We need to maintain our solvency as a city. Otherwise, the state gets involved. If the state gets involved, it is a very nasty scenario for every single homeowner in the city. I'm going to try and be brief, but I'm going to say it in Spanish. A mí me encantaría bajar los impuestos de la ciudad para los residentes de 4.2151 a 4.1571 y más de eso. Yo, si pudiera, lo pusiéramos a 4 fijo y ganancia para todo el mundo. Pero nosotros estamos trabajando ahora mismo con lo que nosotros tenemos. Hay una multitud de cosas que van a ser gastos para la ciudad que no están incluidos en este budget. Tenemos un pago de FEMA que nosotros le debemos a FEMA $2 millones, que ellos pueden entrar a la puerta del alcalde mañana y decirle: señor alcalde, usted no debe $2 millones, me tienen que pagar ahora. ¿Qué hacemos con este budget? Esto se va, no existe. Yo sé que él va a fajarse por la ciudad y va a tratar de coger en un plan de 10, 20 años, lo que sea, para que nosotros podemos coger esos fondos de un lugar. Pero por ahora mismo nosotros estamos haciendo tremendo trabajo por los residentes. Los impuestos los estamos manteniendo, no se están subiendo, y yo quiero que los residentes entiendan que estas son las decisiones muy difíciles para los comisionados, la gente electa. Yo lo voy a decir, yo fui uno de la gente que fui a las casas de ustedes y le dije que yo iba a trabajar para tratar de bajar los impuestos, y eso es lo que estoy tratando de hacer. Pero no es hasta que te presenten el presupuesto y te digan que estos son todos los gastos que nosotros tenemos, que nosotros podemos hacer las decisiones correctas. Yo creo que nosotros estamos bien trabajando uno con los otros y también trabajando con la administración para que ellos puedan tener los servicios que ustedes requieren para ser ciudadanos de la ciudad. Nosotros estamos expandiendo los parques, nosotros también estamos expandiendo para arreglar las aceras que están destruidas, las calles que están destruidas. También, yo no sé si ustedes pasaron, pero cuando las calles cogen un poquito de agua, apenas se puede ver la línea donde se puede ir de un lado para el otro. Estas son cosas que se tienen que arreglar en esta ciudad. Nosotros estamos creciendo. Nosotros queremos crecer. Nosotros no queremos darle o ponerle todo el costo a los residentes. Siempre hay maneras de buscar otros recursos para promover la ciudad y echar la ciudad para adelante, pero ahora mismo nosotros estamos trabajando con lo que nosotros tenemos. Y con eso yo doy el piso.
Chair. Yo solamente les quiero decir que todas las palabras que Joniel ha dicho son correctas. Estoy totalmente de acuerdo. Y a algunos de ustedes yo no les llamé por gusto, ni les llamé y les pedí que viniera para conocer, solamente para estar, para quejar, para atacar, sino que para que todos nosotros aquí, como una junta directiva, como líderes de la ciudad, podremos ver cuánto le afecta esto a los residentes de la ciudad, y para que verdaderamente la voz de los residentes se puedan reflejar. Yo todavía aguanto mi posición que podemos encontrar maneras y otras fuentes de recursos creativos para bajar los impuestos a las propiedades, como los 85,000 que están ahí, cortar gastos que no son necesarios y también estos otros gastos de los $2 millones. Es verdad que Sweetwater probablemente va a tener que pagar eso, pero eso se pone en un horario y se paga con tiempo, igual como muchas otras deudas. No voy a meterme más en detalle porque yo sé que los residentes que han venido hoy probablemente están cansados, ya son las 10:15 y no quiero aguantar este tema más, así que solamente gracias por todos los residentes que han venido y les doy el bienvenido que lleguen el 2 de octubre si quieren para ver la decisión finalizada, que es lo que toma la ciudad en el asunto de los presupuestos y los impuestos a las propiedades.
Madam President, I just want to remind all commissioners that you can definitely make those statements in Spanish, but for the record, we also, we need to have those reflected in English as well.
Let me summarize that, a quick version. So again, everything that Commissioner Diaz said, I believe is true in terms of what we're doing, what we can with our budget. We need to be very careful in making sure that we're solvent, we have enough in reserves, and to pay looming debts like the FEMA $2 million budget. I still hold the position that we can find creative ways to lower property taxes, such as taking the $85,700 that we found and giving it back to residents. We can give that back to residents' pockets. And also with regard to the $2 million, we can set that out on a payment plan similar to other debts that we have in the city where we don't have to impact residents' pockets and property taxes as well. I would like to thank every resident that came out this evening to voice their concerns. I think it's extremely important to reflect the democratic process and having residents' voices heard. I think you stood tonight on behalf of 22,000 residents in the city and expressing your concerns that you would not just like to see taxes remain the same, but you would also like to keep them lowered. So with that, I'll yield the floor and thank you.
I have a question for the finance director, sir. Please, it's yours to like. Sir, on the executive, on payroll salaries, why doesn't show the, I'm sorry, on the executive, on payroll, executive salary, we don't have anything for the executive salary, this is blank. On the first, you see, line item 12, 112011, says payroll executive salary. It's blank. Is that the way it is? That's the way it's supposed to be?
No, it's not. No, there's supposed to be an amount there, and
I didn't hear the question. Was it on line item 12512011?
On the executive, it's blank.
Because you're talking about, you're looking at from 1516 to 1617 and 1718?
18 is blank. 20.
As well as 1617. In 1617,
It's blank also.
correct, because all these salaries were put into different departments, and then they were all rolled over into 512012.
Oh, okay, so that means like,
Correct. If you
all
look
that
at
is
it,
the same.
if you
Yeah,
look at it in
that's kinda
1516,
weird.
there was there,
yeah,
and then
no,
in the executive department, you had, let's say, different offices in the executive department being
Yeah.
paid by different places. They were all put into one place.
oh, okay. So that's why I said, my God, it's blank. If any commissioner have, now since we have the finance director there, do they have any questions to ask him? Any commissioner, please, now that,
Through the chair.
go ahead.
Director Valentine, how you doing, sir?
good, you?
Pertaining to the budget, all of the projections made on the budget, all of the revenues made are in fact projections. Is that a fact?
Well, yes, projection is based on history.
Right.
Yes.
Being that they are in fact projections, let me translate. I'm going to translate this for.
Well, let me say this. The entire budget is based on projection.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Not all of it, not all of it, Tony.
If I may.
Because your taxes are not projected, those are set by the millage rate that's proposed. You've got some that, let's say, like franchise fees and everything that are set by.
I know, I'm going to explain it. So, I'm going to translate in Spanish, so just bear with me. Lo que le pregunté al señor director de finanzas es básicamente que el presupuesto, los ingresos de la ciudad son proyecciones. proyecciones que miran a los años pasados y deciden este va a ser la cantidad de dinero que se entra. So I just translated that. Based on the projections, basado en las proyecciones, your projections or the projections of the city are a very conservative projection. Is that a fact?
That's a fact.
Okay. Básicamente las proyecciones sobre los ingresos de la ciudad son bien conservativos, and we can have more revenues than are projected. Is that a fact?
That's a fact.
Y podemos tener más ingresos sobre los ingresos que están proyectados. Ya el caballero, el director de finanzas, acaba de decir que eso es un hecho. So, we realize that there is no perfect financial instrument. Sabemos que no hay nada perfecto en este instrumento financiero. We try our best as a municipality, Mr. Director, you with your staff. Not to mention you were basically employed by the city for a week before you had to present the budget. Las personas no saben que el señor director de finanzas tuvo que preparar el presupuesto entero de 20 millones 882 mil dólares en una semana. Era un empleado nuevo de la ciudad. So, todavía se está empapando lo que es la ciudad y los ingresos. But based on these projections and the fact that we keep harping on the millage rate, initially, and I'm going to give the people in the audience a little tutorial. Inicialmente, el alcalde hizo una propuesta sobre el nuevo presupuesto de un aumento de 4.9 millones de dólares sobre el presupuesto. The mayor gave a proposed budget of a roughly $4.9 million increase to the city's budget. De eso se dedució 450,000. From that, we deduced about $450,000. Después la comisión empezó a cortar el presupuesto. Then the commission began to cut the budget. From the budget, we managed to cut $585,000, something like that. $535,000, something like that. Podemos lograr cortar más o menos $500,000 de dólares. Encontramos varios errores en el presupuesto. We found several errors in the budget. One of them were $126,000 of pension allocation for part-time police officers. Uno de esos fue $126,000 que encontramos que era un error clérico que se encontró en el presupuesto para los policías de part-time. Los policías que trabajan part-time no tienen pensión. So, encontramos $126,000. Si no encontramos esos $126,000, no podemos lograr bajar los impuestos. Yo veo que I see that the commissioners are making a concerted effort to try and lower taxes. Yo veo que los comisionados están tratando todo posible de bajar los impuestos. Pero cuando yo hice la propuesta en la última reunión, when I made the proposed straw vote in the last meeting, which is the same one that Commissioner Borrero made, que es el mismo presupuesto propuesta que hizo el comisionado Borrero de bajar el amiaramiento, to lower the millage rate to 4.15 whatever, which is lower than 4.215. En ese voto pasó. Pero era un voto, un straw vote. I don't know how you translate a straw vote. Voto simbólico. Un voto que no era simbólico, right?
Simbólico.
¿Un voto qué?
Mentirita.
Simbólico. Simbólico. Y pasó, hoy en día no pasó. Pero quiero básicamente explicarle a la comisión que esos ingresos, que these projections that are made, can always be surpassed. For example, in the police department, we charge $15 for background checks and $15 for fingerprint cards. En el departamento de policía cobramos $15 por cada vez que alguien hace un reporte de huella digital o un reporte antecedente.
Can those be raised?
We can. Pero la proyección que hizo el alcalde no era bien conservativo. It was a very conservative budget, and we have to be fiscally conservative. But we're going to receive more revenues. We're going to receive more revenues from other agencies. We're going to receive more revenues in other departments. We're going to receive more revenues. So I want us to understand that we are not tied to the revenues in this budget. They're going to be surpassed. So when we're referring to these $85,000, I want everyone to understand we're going to have the money for these what if situations. Vamos a tener dinero por estas situaciones que estamos hablando sobre FEMA, si se cae una mata, si tenemos una demanda, que acabamos de tener una demanda. So, with that, I yield the floor. I hope I educated some people. And thank you for allowing me to.
Is anybody else has a question for the finance director?
I'm sorry, I had one question. On the tentative budget, the executive, the breakdown.
On the executive?
Yeah. I think this might just become a name thing. Is it supposed to be Jose L. Diaz or Jose M. Diaz? Might have just been a slip of the key as well. For former mayor.
No, it's M.
It's
No,
M.
L. No, espérate. It's actually both. Both should be there.
Through the chair.
Because both get insurance.
Through the chair.
Just give us a second.
Are we going to throw our numbers off now?
We need to, yes, it's gonna throw the numbers off.
Should I do that? I'm sorry.
Yes, no, we
I
have
guess
to make
it's
sure.
supposed to be there. Both M and L.
Yes. We're missing
Okay.
one former mayor.
All right, let me get, what's the name?
Jose M. Diaz.
No, Jose M is Jose L.
Oh.
It is L. They have L there.
I have an M.
M.
There's an M.
Yeah, you're missing County Commissioner Jose Pepe
No,
Diaz.
Abel.
I have L.
Made it, M.
I have
You have
M.
the bottom, have the top.
I have L.
You have L, I have L.
I have M.
You have M? I have L.
I have M. We can't get it together as a government.
Oh boy.
You have L?
Well, that's on the legislative.
Oh, because it's looking at the executive.
I'm looking at executive.
That's why.
Oh. Okay.
He was looking at the-
You know what's going to happen? One's going to be on executive, one's going to be on.
Okay,
legislative.
that's what happened.
That's probably what's happening.
That's what you have an M
So
and
we're
he
okay?
has an L.
So we're okay, it's not
Because
going to
it's
throw it
on
off?
the, it's on the different, look. M is here. That's why he was saying he has an M. Right here.
Yes.
M.
So one is on the legislative, one
And
is on
one's
the
on
executive.
the executive.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
One is reflected on page 7, the other one is on
The
page
one
9.
with another
Yeah.
one, yes.
Okay.
But, yes, that's what it was.
Yeah, so
Is
He
there,
was looking
it looked like a mistake, but yeah, it's one's on.
Executive and you looked
also, I
at
was
the
looking
mayor.
at it. Is a row break for the legislative one? Is there a problem with the row break? Because it looks like the pension for 104,000 is going to Jose Bergnon.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Madam Chair. to the chair.
Go ahead.
Okay,
You have
on
a
the
question?
legislative.
But you have a
yes.
question, you have a question to the finance?
A question and a motion.
Okay,
My question-
let's go for the question first, please. So he's standing there, so let's go for the
I was
question.
gonna do.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, on the expense account for the commissioners, how come I see only 5,000 and not 10? That was approved last time.
The other 5,000 is on page 6, and it's
No,
broken.
look at page 7.
Yeah, page 7, I see 5,000 for each commissioner.
It's
That's,
supposed to be 10.
Well-
In the salary.
well, the way it was, the way the,
No,
the
expense.
the way the-
Because you
yeah.
already have, Tony's correct, you've got on line item 23 on the previous page, you've got 35,000 there, which is 5.
Yeah, but that's why I wanted to make the motion. I want all of them together and as a salary instead of an expense. The
So-
$10,000 to go into salary.
So basically vacate the 35,000 from, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
through the chair.
The
No,
35,000
go ahead. Let's
plus
finish
all
this
the
thing.
5,000 to go into the salary.
Oh,
Hold on, I'm confused.
So through the chair, just to clarify, I think I know what she's trying to say.
It's something,
For item 23, so account 522049, she wants to vacate the 35,000 in there and move it to $5,000 in addition to the.
Payroll into
To the
salary.
payroll.
Right.
Yeah, the salary.
Is that what you're trying
Yeah.
to say? Okay.
I'll make a motion to go ahead
okay.
and.
Before they make a motion, I'm confused. Yes, before you do, because they're saying to move. I know that was done before. I don't know if you have a stop, on the stop pay from.
Yeah,
one of the
I have
commissioners.
a stub.
So basically, that's what it was in the past. and it was in the past for many, many years.
But I think when you
And that's what she's trying to do, but she's getting me confused. I don't know which line is it.
when you voted recently though, you actually allocated it by
To the
to the
salary.
expenses. When you voted previously, you
But all of this gonna be combined in the salary that we make?
Because she's making a motion, that's what you're doing, right?
for the motion that you're making, yes, we'll move it and put it in
And then
salary.
it- yeah.
Right.
Oh, so what are they
I'm
moving?
correct,
Sir, can you
Mr. Attorney?
specific,
So,
because I'm,
As I understand the motion, it is basically is take the funds on legislative line item 23 and in equal amounts apportion that to line items 24 through 30.
That's correct. Yeah,
Is that the motion?
yes.
Through the
the
chair.
motion is 23 to move 23 and from 24 to 30.
From 23,
So
23 to 30.
line item 33, 23 will be reduced from 35,000 to 0.
Uh-huh, there you go.
And line items 24 through 30 will be increased by 5,000 each.
No, hold on.
No.
Hold on.
Yes, that's the way I
Yes.
Yeah.
Through the chair.
You're zeroing
Hold
out,
on, he's planning.
Go ahead.
He's planning because
again,
I'm confused.
the motion is to line item 23, account 522049, to modify the amount of 35,000 to 0. And modify line items 24 through 30.
To 10,000.
Each one will be modified from 5,000 to 10,000.
That
Keeping it revenue neutral, exactly.
Okay, but that doesn't address the payroll.
Yes, we
So,
pay
so those
taxes.
items that are 24 through 30, those are not payroll. Those are expense.
So the $35,000 item, is that the payroll?
The $35,000 item, will, as you said, will move from here.
No, but which one of those line items, either 23 or 24 to 30, which one accounts for payroll?
All of those are, at this point, are expense. They're not payroll.
Okay. My understanding of the commissioner's motion.
I think she wants to move the 35,000 from line 23 to the payroll. So line 23 will become 0, and then those
Move that
Not-
to the
move
payroll.
that to the payroll.
Not to payroll. She wants to move it to the expense account.
No.
Payroll.
To payroll? Okay.
Yeah, because you have to pay taxes.
We pay taxes for that.
Through the chair.
But I believe that you wanted
All of them. That's all I need.
the line item 23 and line item 24 through 30
All move to
that
payroll.
to payroll
Payroll.
and be subject to
Like a
taxes.
salary.
The
Okay.
same as the stop, as the pay stop.
Okay.
Do you have the pay stub I gave it to you?
Yeah, I have it.
Well, that's the way.
I want it broken down that way.
Let me
Yeah, let's make.
Let me restate the motion, if I may, now that I think that we got it. The motion is line item 23 and line items 24 through 30. All of those would be modified and reflected in payroll.
Right.
Would that be accurate,
Right.
Mr. Director?
Right. Yes.
So that would be, and then again, subject to taxes.
Taxes, yes. Taxes. Okay, but we have a
That's the motion.
motion.
Through the chair.
Okay, hold on, let me just tell you who second, then I'll give you the, so you can talk about it. Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Holzel also. Second, Commissioner Barrero, and second, Commissioner Duazo. Now, go ahead.
Right. If I'm understanding correctly, I think, Commissioner Holt's concern is that these funds are, whether or not they are paid directly to commissioners. In other words, that they're not a fund that you spend from and have to show receipts.
Right.
But rather that they are
Part of the
paid
payroll.
directly to commissioners and it looks like salary.
Right.
Okay. As it currently stands, to my understanding, all of these, lines 23 through 30,
Mhm.
they are paid directly to commissioners and as salary, is that correct?
No,
They're not?
no.
Okay.
Those would require receipts.
All of these would require
All of these
receipts?
would, as they stands right now, these would require receipts.
Okay.
Right. But they're moving all of these to payroll, so these will be zeroed out.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
But how is it currently paid out? Isn't that each of those $5,000 given to commissioners and payroll?
They have currently $5,000 each in payroll, and they have these as well.
So is it currently being done wrong?
No, it's being done the way it's been requested.
Okay. Right, well, my question is, right now, those $5,000 or the $35,000 in line 23?
That's not payroll.
But those are paid directly to commissioners.
Yes.
So it is payroll.
No, it's an expense account.
But they are paid to commissioners, right? Directly?
It's my understanding that those are the commissioner's expense account.
If I
Go
may,
ahead.
and Mayor, please chime in if I'm off. But I believe that those $5,000 stem from last budget, in which the budget message changed it from prior years to make it on a reimbursement basis. So in prior years, I believe all of that was payroll in whatever amount it was in the last budget. Pursuant to the budget message was made in the way it was drafted, and it was required to be on a reimbursement basis for the current budget. Again, the commission at this point can go ahead and keep it the same, modify it, and my understanding is from the motion and the second that is basically reverting that back to prior years, in which those monies were paid directly and subject to taxes.
The only thing that you're gonna have now in the expense account are those $3,000. The ones that have to give you receipts.
And those are also on a reimbursable, those are reimbursable basis.
Right, okay.
So these will be paid now directly to a salary?
Right.
The same it was before. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner
Please.
Borrero,
No.
Commissioner Duazo,
Yes.
Commissioner Diaz,
I'm sorry, just to clarify, this still remains neutral, correct?
Yes,
Budget neutral, yes.
Yes, you're not adding or deleting any revenue to the budget. The modifications you're making are revenue neutral.
Right.
Okay, yes.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because the more
There may be,
there's
yes,
there's a
yes,
FICA
thank you.
implication.
There may be some adjustments that have to be made to the other,
FICA.
yes, to FICA,
I think that's the only
because of
thing.
the increase relative to salary.
Right.
So there should be some slight modification there.
Commissioner Barreto.
Yes.
Commissioner Holtz Alonso,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva,
No.
President Yanio,
Yes.
motion passes 5-2.
Through the chair?
Go ahead.
Am I allowed to make any motions with respect to the entire budget or only legislative at this point?
No,
Anything.
do whatever you want.
Okay, well, that being said, I would like to move to transfer $50,000 from the capital improvement line to donations such that they would be awarded to the Little Abner Foundation.
Second.
I would ask what is the line item, just to make sure that we have a properly recorded motion?
Okay.
It's close to the back,
Yeah.
if not the back, I don't know.
Public Works, page 39. I'm sorry, page 41.
41.
Mr. Director, is there a corresponding donations line item in the budget?
Yes.
Just
And legislative, I believe it was.
Legislative, you have line 33, item 536099.
What line item is that?
Legislative.
536099. Line number 33 on page 6.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I have a question. Don't we owe some money to the Lady Abner Foundation? That's the 50,000 could be to pay them the 31,000 or what? What we do with the 50,000 now? That's part of the payment?
That was not included in Commissioner Borrero's motion. Relative to the 31,000 that was discussed previously, I guess that we're going to go ahead and see. I'm going to sit down with the administration and give the commission some answers and options. Commissioner Borrero's motion was strictly a $50,000 donation, so he did not make any connection to
So,
to
I
the
mean,
monies owed.
Raul, I think he stated several times that he's willing to forgive and forget that. His concern, they presented before the commission two requests, or one of two requests. One was for $35,000 and the other one was for $50,000. So, forgetting the $31,000 in consideration of the $50,000 that they're requesting, I would, in as much as I can't see us foreseeably spending this $600,000 in capital improvement expenses, I would like to move $50,000 from that line item in street improvements, which is line number 14 on page 41, account number 544847, to the legislative budget, which is line number 33, account number 536099, donations, and that they be allocated to the foundation.
Understood, Commissioner. I just have one clarification with respect to that line item. Line item 33 in the legislative. What is that? What are those allocations for?
That line item, the funds that are in there right now, well, those are funds that were passed from my salary to the Light Up Learning, the nonprofit.
Oh, that's right, that's right, that's right, that's right, that's right, that's right.
Okay.
So I think Commissioner Borrero can pretty much outline the motion properly. So
Again?
you have your motion.
Again?
No, you've
Okay.
Yes.
and you have a second.
And I want to make a comment.
With one exception, that he said that those monies automatically be transferred to Little Abner, which they can't be done by motion here in the budget.
All you're doing is you're moving the money. For the money to be effectively, provided, you're gonna probably require either some type of amendment in the, you can provide something in the budget itself to go
Yeah.
ahead and make the payout,
Okay.
or, because you're making the allocation right now,
Right.
or subsequent action by the commission.
So we're just allocating the funds to the
You're
account.
allocating the funds right now.
Has to
Yeah.
be done after the fact by resolution.
Right. So later we'll have to present a resolution that awards them that.
Yes.
But,
I just want to make a little comment that we all have to be very careful about. Okay? I went to Doral, city of Doral, and they had a situation based on likely like ours. If we grant money to any nonprofit organization, we have to grant money to any nonprofit organization that comes to the city and asks for the money, because we'd be illegal. So we want to be aware of that. And I have the resolution from the RAF right here in front of me, because they were having the same problems, and they got in trouble because they couldn't make exception. You have to, if tomorrow comes another nonprofit organization and asks for their money, we cannot discriminate. It would be illegal. So before we make any, I would love to give it to them, but also we have to do it the legal way.
Madam President, I haven't seen that specific legislation. But what I can tell you is that the allocation that is being made right now is to line item 33 of donations.
Okay.
And it will be up to this commission to provide the funds if it wishes to.
No, I mean, I don't want misunderstanding. I do want them to get paid, but I want also for us to do the legal thing.
Madam President, you're referring to the way in which the money is provided. The money, what is allocated as donations. What the funding that's currently there came directly from Commissioner Borrero's resolution. So it was basically designated by him, and those were his funds. So that's slightly different. In what I'm gathering from what you're telling me is that you want to see. Let me backpedal, Madam President, right now. All you're doing right now is putting $50,000 in line item 33. How this commission chooses to apportion that, we can revisit that issue at that point. But right now, the motion is to allocate $50,000 in the donations, in the donation line item 33.
No.
That's the motion.
Okay.
No action has been taken specifically as to, hey, X amount is going to be provided to this. I know that the part of the motion, there's a statement regarding the $50,000 going to Little Abner, and it's being allocated in line 33. The commission would have to take separate action in order to go ahead and provide that money as it sees fit.
After we allocate these monies, would you mind giving us a legal opinion as to whether or not we're able to do that?
I'll do that.
Thank you.
May I?
Hold on. Who was first? I think it was Commissioner Barreto have been asking.
I would like to have your legal opinion. Okay, he says specific for Little Abner. Okay.
Well, the motion at this point, I'm sorry, is
It's
just
for
to...
Little Abner, right?
No. The motion is to allocate the money.
Just
allocation of the
donation,
money.
Right.
Allocate
no
the money.
mention, no profit organization specifically,
It doesn't have to be, but with the hopes that they will be given to them.
because I wanted to be sure that what we vote tonight is the way they're supposed to correctly, legally.
I think that the way that Commissioner Borrero is basically worded his motion is cautious enough where all that you're doing is moving those $50,000 from capital improvements to line item 33 of the legislative label as donations.
Okay, just
So-
donation.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And again, with the qualifier that it is his hope that the recipient be Little Abner Foundation, whatever recipient is designated, whatever amount is designated, obviously has to take place with additional action.
And by the way, they're prepared to provide invoices, receipts for each of those line items from which they're requesting those funds.
No, we all agree to that. The only thing is like we want to do it the legal way. We don't want any sue again. The city can afford
Yeah, because
to
we
have people
have-
suing us all the time.
That's right, we have like La Griteria from Nicaragua.
Oh, all right.
The people from
But wait.
Bolivia.
Ryan
Ryan
Foundation.
Foundation, so I don't know.
So that's why we have to be careful. I mean, I agree.
This is my question for clarification.
Go ahead, sir. So we can move on. Go
Have
ahead.
different non-profit organization. But it's come maybe one organization, I say, I have $40,000. No designate how much money for this man. So what is no bank? You know, it's right. But for how many people, how many money for organization?
Commissioner, the allocation does not include or is not specifically naming any organization.
You're right.
Okay. So we have a motion on the floor.
And a second.
In a second.
And a second.
Commissioner
Roll call.
Duazo,
Pass.
Commissioner Diaz,
Yes.
Commissioner Barreto,
Pass.
Commissioner Holt Alonso,
No.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
Commissioner Borrero,
Yes.
Commissioner Duazo,
Yes.
Commissioner Barreto,
It's for the allocation of the money.
Just for
only.
the allocation?
Yes, ma'am.
Allocation.
Yes.
President Yanio,
Yes.
motion passes
Through the chair.
5-1, 6-1.
I'd like to present a motion to deduct $5,000 from salary from each commissioner.
I'll second that.
I didn't hear that.
I'd like to present a motion to deduct $5,000 from payroll from each commissioner.
Okay, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Diaz?
No.
Commissioner Barreto?
No.
Commissioner Holtz Alonso?
No.
Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
Commissioner Borrero?
Yes.
Commissioner Duazo?
No.
President Yanio?
No.
Motion dies 2-5.
I have one, I lost it.
Through the chair, just a question for the mayor. Do we still have any funds for assistance for residents to complete immigration applications?
Funds for it? No. That
No.
was through a grant that was lost 3 years ago. something like
What about for any of the like assistance on the light or rental?
That was the same. The light is different. The light is Light Heat, which is actually funded through the county.
Right.
And it spends more time closed than open. The rental assistance was part of that same $50,000 grant that was lost two
Yeah,
and a half
but
years
half
ago,
of
3
it
years.
used to be funded by the city.
A part of it, correct.
Yeah.
Very small margin of it.
Okay.
21.
Yeah, that's it.
21.
Just 1 minute, please. I need to get some record.
Through the chair,
Go ahead.
what will be our tentative reserves after this?
Out of this budget,
Yeah.
$100,000.
Okay. Again, I've strongly advocated for putting money into capital improvement funds. As it stands right now, I don't see how that's possible. I don't see how we're going to do that if the commission has not approved a paver to do so. And, with further comments, some of the commissioners voiced their concerns that we not properly equipped and trained for it. I am concerned that, we don't have a substantial amount of reserves in the event that we do need to spend additional funds. I have a question and followed by a motion. This is for the finance director. Are we able to do, if necessary, a budget revision later where we could allocate funds from reserves to another line item? For example, capital improvement?
If funds are available, I'm sure.
Okay.
That's a possibility.
Again, this is only because I see that at this point, it's not possible that we could spend funds from capital improvements, and also that is probably more of a priority to have funds in reserves, given the debts that, we've mentioned here with FEMA, with Hurricane Irma. I would like to move to allocate the $550,000 in street improvements to the reserve account.
What'd you think?
My motion was to move $550,000 from the capital improvements, street improvements line item to the reserves. 'Cause I just feel at this point, it's probably more important to have more funds in reserves than it is to have that amount of money in capital improvements. So I would like to move, and if no commission can support it, perhaps we can maybe be a little bit more flexible and move $200,000 from our capital improvements line item to the reserve account, increasing it from 100,000 to 300,000 in reserves.
The motion, as I understand it, is from the capital improvements budget, line item 14, to modify the remaining balance of $550,000 to zero, and increase the, which account would that be?
That'd be reserves.
The reserves account by $550,000.
Well, seeing that there's probably no support for that, I'll probably just move it to 200,000, and that will give us a $300,000.
So you
reserve
withdraw your
account.
motion of the 550,000?
Cuídate, hermanito.
Yes, and amend it so that it was 200,000.
No, you're withdrawing the motion and you're making a subsequent motion.
Yes, sir.
Son vecinos de ustedes.
Through the chair. Commissioner Borrero, I see what it is that you're doing, and I commend you, but I would caution you solely because, like I said before, the revenues that we have are obviously proposed revenues, and I am 100% certain that the proposed revenues are going to be surpassed. And Mr. Valentine, correct me if I'm wrong, if these revenues are surpassed, these monies that we receive, they initially go into general funds. I have a two-part question, correct? Yeah.
Correct.
Now, from that, now we know that there are certain months in the year that we receive certain revenues, and based on those projections, we know if we're above projections or below. Based on those revenues, we can go ahead and allocate those extra monies to reserves. Is that correct?
Well, I'll put it this way. If the revenues come in excess of what we budgeted here, the difference between the revenues and expenditures would go into reserve anyway. The overage would go into reserve anyway.
They wouldn't initially go into general funds and then be...
It's general fund reserve.
Well, forgive me. For years, we've used this word general fund as the pot.
I see.
And
Well, it goes
the actual
into the pot.
reserve account is a specific reserves. So general fund is just a pool of money, and then we put it into reserves. That's how unfortunately business has been conducted here. The proper way is exactly what you're saying. So anything in surplus would go into the reserve account, correct? Good. So based on that, I'd say that we have a pretty healthy potential to have reserves come in. So that's all I'm going to add.
Madam President? Just to elaborate on Commissioner Villanueva's statement, again, I want to remind all commissioners that where that could very well be the case, that the projections, the revenue projections can be exceeded in reality, that the way you would capture those and be able to allocate those and expend those will be later on through a budget amendment. So you still have the statutory obligation to adopt a balanced budget based on what is being presented by your finance staff. In all likelihood, more than likely you are correct, Commissioner Villanueva. But you capture that and you allocate that and expend that once you have it, and after a budget amendment where you again make those allocations and provide for authorization for expenditures.
Thank you.
And going back to Commissioner Borrero, his motion was to, the new motion is to modify line item 14 from the capital improvements budget to modify the remaining balance of $550,000 to $300,000, and to increase the general fund reserve by $250,000.
Through the chair, before we take a vote on this, I want to chime in here. Everybody's here driven through or at least crossed 107th Avenue, correct? Has anybody seen the elevation of 107th Avenue? It is substantially higher than our side streets. What happens when it rains? All the water that's accumulated there, yes, they do have their drainage, but there's always going to be excess water. Where is it going to go? It's going to go into our side streets. We are at a point in our city where we need capital improvements. Otherwise, we're going to suffer consequences. If we have further flooding on our side streets, we're going to have further deterioration in our streets. This is a need. And right now, I even chipped away $50,000 right now because I believed in where it was going. I fought hard for capital improvements. I don't think it's right to take it away. I think that it's a can that we can no longer kick down the road. And I think that I think 550 really is like a below bare bones minimum of what we needed for the city. With that, I yield the floor.
Through the chair, where would you like those funds to be spent? 550, the 550.
In the streets.
Well, how are you going to do that if you would like to contract out a contractor to be able to do that?
Yes.
Do you believe that we can actually substantially complete anything with $550,000? I mean, how much?
I believe we can also find grants for it. Am I right? No.
Not on municipal streets.
Then even some more. So we're gonna have to start allocating more money to it there.
Well, we had the opportunity, but I mean.
So you have the motion.
No, that's what I'm waiting on.
There's no second.
No second. Motion dies.
Okay, now. I have to say something about which I'm going to put a motion. And my motion is based on the complaints that I have been receiving. Even though I vote in favor to increase the salary of the code compliance of $20,000, there's a lot of bad feelings that it's not fair that we have been cut up to all these departments to give a raise to a specific department.
I move it down.
Okay, so the $20,000, I want to move it to capital improvement.
So you're
There was,
moving it
I mean,
from.
to leave it the way it was, which we increased it to 20,000. Actually, I'm taking those 20,000 that we increased and put it back, put it into the capital improvement.
Code enforcement.
Yes, we increased it to 20,000, which is 12512012.
What page?
Page 36. And put it into capital improvement, line 14, 544-847, street improvement.
So the motion is for, in the code of compliance budget, line item 12, to modify the, in 1 second, Mr. Director, so this reflects the additional $20,000?
The
what you have here?
20,000 that it was increased.
To modify the existing allocation of $225,338 to $205,338, and to increase to modify line item 14 of the capital improvement budget from the existing allocation of $550,000 to $570,000.
Yes.
Second.
Commissioner
Duaso also second the
Also
motion.
second, and second Commissioner Barrero. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Barrero?
Yes.
Commissioner Holtz Alonso?
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
Commissioner Borrero?
Yes.
Commissioner Duaso?
Yes.
Commissioner Diaz?
No.
President Yanio?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes 6-1.
Okay, so. Okay, I have, okay, go ahead.
Okay, I would like to take $40,000 of public works.
Hold on.
Which line
From
item?
where?
What page?
What page?
Is page 40. Line item 12.
So that would be page 39.
Hold on.
39, yeah, that's right.
I was looking for.
How much?
Which item?
39.
Public Works, page 39, line item 12.
And how much are you moving?
Take it off, 40.
40,000.
So the motion is for the Public Works budget, line item 12, account 512012, to modify the existing allocation of $690,844 to $650,844.
Through the chair.
Go ahead.
Reducing any salaries in Public Works would potentially mean losing one or two employees in that department, and the process of the tree debris removal will be hampered by doing this. This would not be a prudent move. On the contrary, I was asking for more money to be able to hire more employees in that department. That is not a responsible decision to make in the city.
Through the chair.
Go ahead.
I mean-
Go ahead, I was gonna say something. No, go ahead, go
Okay.
ahead.
Some of the concerns that I'm sure people have heard, I understand people's concerns about salaries going up and down. That's fine. But one of the main concerns that we've had lately is the pickup. We've had a act of God come through the city, and now we're picking up the pieces. We have 9 people that are currently working there. I don't think, especially now, that to really fix this whole situation with the hurricane is probably going to go, hopefully not, but at least the details will go into next year.
Commissioner Jose Alonso.
I feel, I don't think dropping this payroll is a good idea, honestly. You have your reasons, I understand, but I mean, right now we're in a situation where a lot of our residents are complaining because we're not picking up in a timely manner by their definition. We need more people, not less.
We do have just a recollection of what you're saying. If you look at it, we have one position, which we don't talk about positions, but I'm saying if that's maybe what you're looking for, I'm just trying to get an idea.
My motion is to cut down $40,000. I have my reasons.
Okay. Then I'm going to support you. Second. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Jose Alonso,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva,
And we're cutting $40,000 from payroll from Public
Payroll.
Works?
Payroll.
No.
Through the chair, has anything already been cut from Public Works?
30,000.
30,000 has already been cut from Public Works?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'd like to vote no.
no. Commissioner Duaso,
Yes.
Commissioner Diaz,
No.
Commissioner Barreto,
Yes.
President Yanio.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-3. $40,000.
I want to.
Mm-hmm.
General funds.
If no movement is provided.
Automatically to general funds.
Through the chair.
Go ahead.
So, as I see it, there's not going to be any, because we took away the 30,000 during the previous meeting, they lost the one open position for maintenance worker 2, and they're going to lose the second one. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Through the chair.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, how much have we deducted from the budget right now?
40,000, because the other one was moved to capital improvement.
So we deducted $40,000 from the budget, from the original $85,000 savings. We moved 50,000, which means we're essentially saving $120,000.
No.
The 50,000, you're moving it from one line to another one, so that one's revenue neutral.
So what you're referring to, we have the savings of $85,000. Let's start with that. You follow me? We didn't move anything from there. So now we're deducing $40,000 from Public Works.
Correct.
A deduction from 40,000 and 85,000, my math, is $125,000.
Correct.
So now we have a savings of $125,000. And we can lower the millage rate. So based on that savings, if the math is correct, I present a motion to lower the millage rate to, what was the original, Commissioner Borrego?
4.1571.
4.1571.
Through the chair.
I'm sorry, Madam President, that motion would be out of order because that has to be done through a resolution. And you're scheduled
Straw
to do
vote.
that Monday. A straw vote would
Great.
be,
To the chair, I mean, I think we, you know, when it comes to items like this, we need to have open communication. You know, I would like to ask, you know, Commissioner Yanyo, is there any particular reason, you know, why you wouldn't like to transfer these savings to savings in the property tax revenues that are collected?
No, I'm only trying to say that we have to make sure that we act responsibly, and we need to meet all the needs of the city. And then, because we are not touching the taxes to increase it, we're not doing any harms to the residents. And again, those incomes that are coming from the buildings that the residents are look at it, we don't gonna get anything in 2 or 3 years. That is the bottom line.
But
I
my,
mean, we cannot count on those, and we cannot count on something. I count on what we have. No, maybe we're gonna have it, maybe we're not gonna have it. And again, we also, like I said, you're predicting how much money we're gonna get in revenues based on this is a prediction, but it's also a prediction, the expenses, because we don't know how much expenses it's gonna be. We just lost a suit that was against the city. You know how many we have? Quite a few. What happened with the losing, you know? Well, this one I think is gonna be covered by the big city,
yes, we have a deductible, so there may be an impact to the,
and
the
impact
city.
to this. So you see, I mean, unfortunately, it's gonna be revenues, a prediction, but also it's gonna be expenses to the prediction. So that's the reason what I'm looking at. I don't want us to fall into the same situation that we have a year ago.
so through the chair, any savings that we're able to find that we have not allocated to anything, are you willing to give them back to the residents and lower property taxes? Any savings?
And he say if we could do it, of course, I'm not against saving money. Again, I do pay taxes in the city. I own a property in the city, like a lot of us here, so it means like I don't like to pay taxes either.
Right, so these
And
85,
we have to be responsible, look it up, talk to the finance director if we have to, and we have to make sure that we have a balanced budget.
well, I'm glad,
Go ahead.
I need to make sure that everybody on this dais understands the urgency of the city. Reviewing this budget and talking about all the unforeseen costs that are just looming right around the corner is eye-opening, really. I need to know that the other commissioners up here know that the sense of urgency that there is. And I'm not endorsing this in any way, shape, or form. But if you guys were basically to say, "Hey, let's do away with the capital improvements," I think it would be prudent to put it into savings, into our general reserves, than to say, "Here you go, residents, we're going to give it back to you," and then next year we're going to have to basically double the millage rate to catch up.
would you like to make that motion?
No, that's why I said I don't endorse it at all. But if it came to that, that's the direction I would go.
Madam Chair, I'd like to have a word.
Go ahead.
You know, I get probably 10 or 15, maybe 20 complaints a day from residents, and some of them from you that are sitting here on the board in regards to sidewalks that need repair, potholes, trees that need to be trimmed. A huge amount of complaints. So you talk about $85,000 and another $40,000 that just got taken away from Public Works. You're talking about a total of $125,000 that probably represents no more than $3 or $4 in savings per year per taxpayer. I don't think there's any resident in this city that's interested in saving $4 per year versus having their property values go down because the city is falling apart. So this talk about continuing to lower the taxes, lower the millage, or continuing to take money away from capital improvements, to me is ridiculous. You all live here, and I'm sure that you're interested in keeping your property values up just as the rest of these residents are. That's all I've got to say.
Okay, thank you. Oh, hold on, we have a, don't we have a motion? The floor?
Can you please repeat the motion?
I believe it was a straw vote.
Yeah,
no.
straw vote.
I'll second it.
Go ahead.
So can you clarify the motion, please?
The straw vote is basically to see if the savings that have been effectuated can be passed through the residents in
So
lowering
these-
the millage.
These savings have not been allocated to anything, correct?
Frankly, any savings that are the result of any modification to a line item in the budget, all of that gets recaptured into the general reserve fund, in the general fund reserve, rather. So if it's not allocated, then it is basically, we will be part of the general fund reserve.
Okay.
So it's not that it's floating around by itself. Anything that you cut that goes unallocated, that's where it goes.
Well, I mean, I would definitely like to see that allocated to residents if possible. And we haven't named those monies yet. We haven't assigned them expenses, so I would definitely like to second that so that that money's given back to residents and property tax revenues.
Through the chair. I'd like to remind all commissioners again, if they go to page 1 of the budget, that there is a fund balance appropriation of $386,000 from last year's budget, which is reserved to this budget to balance it. If there's any savings in this budget, it's less of a transfer, so our reserves are building up. 10 minutes ago, you were talking about moving capital improvement monies, which is ridiculous, to reserves to not repair any streets. And now you're doing the complete opposite, and you're not asking for it to go back into reserves, instead in a .001 savings, where Alan was saying that it's probably a $3 savings. I would say it's probably a 15-cent savings if you start transferring it over.
Well, there's two different accounts.
It's something has to be done where we've been saying all night, Commissioner Diaz a little while ago saying it's the looming fact that we do have to start paying FEMA back. I've been emphasizing it all night that we are going to be responsible for 30% of all the cost recoveries, of all the cleanup, which could potentially be $450,000. The prudent thing to do is to budget an additional $450,000 at least for that, and it's not being done, and I really don't understand where this looming effect is. So if there's $40,000, let's figure out a way of lowering the millage again, when there should be a way of, let's do this and build up the reserves.
That's why I moved it from, I think it's more important to have reserves than to have capital improvements. That's
And then why do you cut the capital improvements from the first time around from $900,000
Because I think
to
it's more
$600,000?
important to save residents money than to
Fix streets
than
and
to
fix
have,
sidewalks.
than to have that in reserves.
Commissioner Villanueva,
I presented the item, yes.
Commissioner Borrero,
Yes.
Commissioner Duazo,
No.
Commissioner Diaz,
Would you explain it one last time, City Attorney? What was the resolution, or the straw vote?
The straw vote is to take the savings that have resulted from the modifications you made to line items throughout the budget and take that from the general fund reserve.
No, no, no. To quantify it to a reduction in the millage.
Right. But it will be coming because the cuts were made, so they're in the general fund reserve. So it will be to take that, quantify it, and pass it on to the residents. As yeah, that's basically it.
And what is that, 126,000?
Roughly, yes.
I don't know the math, but I don't know what the reduction in millage would be at this point. So that's why the motion is being made this way.
The chair, and a point of clarification. Lowering it to that millage rate would essentially deduct roughly $85,000, leaving leaving $40,000 to go into reserves. So this straw vote that we're producing right now, that I'm presenting, is lowering the millage rate, which will alleviate $85,000 to that 4.1 whatever it is, and then the additional $40,000 would essentially go into reserves. So that's a point of clarification.
Understood. So you heard the motion. Is those $85,000 basically to lower the millage to, I believe it was 4.1571, and the additional savings will remain in general fund reserve.
I'm going to vote yes because I would love to get money back to our residents. But given the fact that we're going to be on the hook for $450,000 and an additional $2 million for the payback from FEMA, there is no such thing as a savings in the next budget or the next 2 or 3 budgets, in my opinion.
Commissioner Barreto?
No.
Commissioner Holtz Alonso?
No.
President Yanio?
No.
Straw vote dies. It didn't pass. It was 4-3.
Okay. Page 21, line 12, 512012, I want to move $10,000 to capital improvement.
What page?
21.
Madam Chair, you said page 12, 21?
21. 12, 512012, line 12, I want to move $10,000 to capital improvement.
So the motion.
Line 14, 544847, the street improvements.
So the motion is for line item 12 of the Administration of Human Resources budget, account 512012, to modify the allocation of $117,514 to $107,514, and to increase the allocation in the